Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mr. Stelios on Spurs, the best place to be in town on a Saturday night. Thanks for being here, each and every one of you. We've got a good little crew of us on the show tonight. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill by now, each and every time. Hope everyone's happy. Hope everyone's enjoying the weekend with no Tottenham playing. Some of you, of course, probably do want to see some football, but I think for a lot of fans, they don't. I ran a poll today saying, are you glad Spurs aren't playing or do you miss the games? Most of you said you're happy that there's a weekend break. Big up the Stelegation Squad. Choo-choo in the house each and every time. Tonight, we are going to be discussing the managerial mess that we find ourselves in, and we have to because most of the other channels aren't going to do it. And you know what I'm all about? I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. We're going to tell you what we need to talk about. And what we need to talk about is this massive social media blowout. The woke wars have begun in the fan base because that's the most important thing right now. A woke war. Not ENIC, not the managers, not relegation, the woke wars. We will discuss it and see where we go with it. My worry is it's going to get toxic. I hope it doesn't. I'll do my best to control it. But anyway, let's hello to everyone. Dan, how you doing, brother? You all right? You good?
Same Spurs, different day. But apart from that, happy we're not playing for the next couple of weeks. Can chill out, can relax, finish off certain things that need doing and not have to worry that Tottenham are playing. So apart from that, all cool, mate.
All cool. Dietrich has just jumped out. Maybe he'll come back. Ellie, how you doing?
Yes.
You good? You all right?
Yeah, same Queen, different day.
Same
That's
Queen,
what I've got
different
to
day.
say.
You know, you mentioned something about the Spurs lady in the group chat earlier. How did the Spurs ladies do today?
I got battered 5-2 by
Really?
Arsenal. Yeah, I know.
Oh, my God.
It's ridiculous. We're just a dead club, men and women.
Men and
Dead,
women.
dead
It's all-
biscuit.
It is. It's who we are, mate. It's who we
Yes,
are,
we
mate.
are, mate. Bring back Edge.
Well, we're going to discuss the managers in a minute because we do need to have a conversation about it. Mari from the Spurs corner, big up. How you doing, man?
Yeah.
You good? How's everything treating you in the US?
Doing good. Craziness. We're in the middle of a war, and here, just chilling in the hospital, just hanging out with my mom, and I'm actually happy that football is still going on. I got some Jamaican in my family, so big up
Really?
Jamaica, trying to make the World Cup. Watching Bolivia the other day. Got some Bolivian friends here in Orlando, so yeah, man. I'm counting the days till the World Cup, man. I love international football. And big up to Italy, man. I want to see Italy make it, man. It can't be 3 straight World Cups that don't make it. Italy needs to make it.
Yeah.
What have they got to do? Are they in a?
They're in the final playoff. They gotta be Iraq.
Playoff.
They have to be they have to be Iraq. Brennan Johnson choked for Wales. Yeah. So
Yeah, I saw that one yesterday.
yeah.
Well, if you live in the UK, England are through, so that's pretty much in the bag. Just want to start the show with just a little bit of banter because there's a couple of Gooners in the chat, and I do like to, appreciate the fact that they're here. So I thought this was hilarious.
I don't.
There was this picture of Man City winning the Carabao Cup final, and this Arsenal fan said, City celebrating like they've just won the Champions League. Embarrassing. And Liam Gallagher came in and said, celebrate winning corners like this.
I love it.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, don't
I'll
Liam
tell you what.
Gallagher.
That was top draw. Big up to Vindaloo in the chat. Enjoy
It
that one,
does.
Vindaloo. So listen, I want to talk about the managerial situation because there's been a bit more that's come out today, and this is becoming a nightmare. So the football director that we wanted, who's actually got a really good reputation, Doogie Friedman, has turned down the job. Now, this guy's actually very, very good, like really good. He's turned down the job. So we're looking at Sebastian Kell, who is a bit of a nobody. There's nothing special about him. And if he comes in, it's to work with Lange, not instead of Lange. So the problem continues. But we're looking at football directors when we don't know what division we're going to be in, which for me is crazy. Regarding the manager situation, Adi Hutter is someone that has been mentioned. However, because of his name, it's causing controversy because his actual name is Adolf Hutter. And being a club that's got quite a big Jewish contingent, that's not going down very well.
You couldn't write this stuff, man.
On the flip side, the other guy they're looking at, the Zerbi. The problem with this manager is that we've got the woke war that has exploded from the LGBT Lilywhites department of Tottenham, which we're going to get into later. So that's problematic. Sean Dyche has been mentioned. However, he was on Talk Sport today saying that no one's spoken to him at Tottenham. So you got Adolf Hutter, De Zerbi, a football director that no one really wants, and on top of it, Tudor is still here. He hasn't been sacked, and we're now hearing a decision's going to be expected on Monday. But we were told a decision was going to be expected last week. Guys, I've got a feeling we're going to stick with Tudor because they don't know what to do. You've got the fans going crazy about De Zerbi. You've got the fans going crazy about Adolf. Why we're looking at football directors, I don't know. Sean Dyche is saying, no one's given me the call. I don't know what you're talking about. And Tudor is still here. Who wants to go first?
Let me go first.
Let's have a go.
Oh, Mari.
I've been saying for years, because I'm very big on structure and organization. And you got to think about this, right? With the other guy's name, I can't say his name, the director who turned us down. Whenever I look for a company or for a school,
Doogie Freeman.
Doogie Freeman.
Yeah.
Now, Doogie Freeman, I give him mad props. I give him much kudos because we've all in our life been on a job hunt, right? In our lives, or you're making an educated, good decision for yourself. Doogie's looking at this entity that is Tottenham Hotspur, where the owners are incompetent. He's probably studied that within the last 10 years, there has not been a club, not talking only Big Six, but in the Premier League that has gone to most turnovers of not only managers, but sporting directors, staff personnel. Go look it up. Tottenham is tops in the most turnover. If you look at the shit show that it is right now, the joke that it is, that's Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, you cannot make this thing up. Why would you want to accept the job? It's the same thing. Oh, Pochettino's going to come after the summer. Mind you, the FA, the United States FA, is not the greatest thing in the world, but that looks like world-class organization in comparison to Tottenham. If I'm Pochettino as a manager or any person that is interested in joining Tottenham, why would you? It is incompetent. I mean, from top to bottom. Why would you want to put yourself through the misery of possibly you leaving, not talking about getting fired, you quitting, and then you got to work with Dumb and Dumber, Vinay, and Lange? Really? Like, so it's easy to turn us down. The managerial search is going to be pure comedy. It already is comedy Because if you are a manager who don't have a job, how desperate are you for a job? Because like any adult with a brain, you look at a company, you look at a job, you look at anything before you sign that contract, say yes. You got to think of the pros and the cons. And at Spurs, there are more cons than pros.
True.
It's hard to disagree with much of
Well
that.
put. Well put.
What can you say to that, really? I mean, it's true. I mean, it's the same as any. Look, the thing is that when you say to more pros than cons, it's the same as anything. That's football as a whole. That's life as a whole. There's a lot more cons in life and football than there is pros. It's just the pros are that good that they outweigh all the cons when you actually get them. It's just the thing is at Spurs, you don't ever get the pros. Because all you get is the cons, basically. So in that aspect, when you're just being realistic about it, it is a very negative thing when you want to sit there and talk about Spurs. Because if you really want to add it up, bar maybe winning that Europa Cup, which I think done us more damage than good anyway. What anything good has really happened to Spurs in the past, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, basically? Any manager now is going to be very hard to get unless he's a non-experienced manager, basically, or a small-time manager, or a manager that's just willing to earn himself a couple of million quid for the next 7 games. Because I think if a manager comes into Spurs now and we still get relegated, I don't think it's really going to damage him that much, because he will be able to put on his CV like, well, look what the fuck I took over, basically. What did you expect? I don't think it'd damage a CV that much. But the question is who would want to do it? For the way the players have acted, for the way the club has acted, for the way everything about it, who would actually want to take it over? And I just think we need to get that person in there for the meantime now to try and do this job. And if they're going to do it, they have to do it within the next week. Otherwise, if they leave it to the last minute again, we're in another situation again where a fresh new manager comes in and he's got 2 days to speak to the team and get it all together again. Where's that going to get us? So it's even now it's make or break by the end of next week. Well, halfway through next week. If we can't do it halfway through next week, then what's the point on even bloody doing it?
Yeah.
Else, have we got to do it now?
Oh, I was just thinking it's a poison chalice, really, to come into Tottenham, because it's just one big shit show, and it goes from bad to worse, and the decision making is so slow in terms of appointing managers. I mean, what was it, 70 odd days for one of the managers, and then they just, what are they doing there? I don't get it. Are they sitting on their asses while the gentleman, Igor Tudor, his dad passed away, yeah? So there's some sensitivity there. He buried him last week, I believe, on Thursday or Friday. So they're leaving their decision till Monday now, probably out of sensitivity. But I'm with Mario. I think they're going to leave him in the job. That's what I think. And there's all this hullabaloo, who's going to be our next manager. And you've got Sean Dyche going on Talk Sports saying they've not spoken to me. You've got Harry Redknapp coming out the woodwork saying, I'll take the job when he's at Cheltenham. You've got Teddy Sheringham saying, why are we appointing someone without Premiership pedigree? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't believe that, because I posted something today and I said, why do we need somebody with Premiership pedigree? We don't. There's lots of managers who've come in their first job, they didn't have no Premiership pedigree or even played as a player in Premiership. And look what they've done. You've got Pep Guardiola, no Premiership experience, comes to Man City, they get their money, he transforms them. Arsene Wenger, no Premiership pedigree, was in Monaco, came to the Premiership, revolutionised it, right? So I don't believe this. I feel that we need to get the right man. If it's Igor Tudor and they want to stick with him, what we've seen is 1 point out of 15, which is atrocious, right? And it's not because he hasn't got pedigree, it's because our players are lazy little gits who hide behind their markers. I've seen them, right? They don't look for the ball. Romero's bringing the ball out. He's trying to pass to somebody. No movement, right? Then our captain trots back and they bloody score. He doesn't make no effort. These are the things we should be looking at, not what the manager's pedigree is, what our players are doing on the pitch, right? And I'm bloody angry about it because they're getting paid a lot of money to perform like shit asses, basically. And it's disgraceful and embarrassing.
You know, I heard the rumor about the player manager, and mind you, I'm one of the very few who are a little bit still fond of, Romero, but there is no way in hell that we're going to have a player manager be Romero or Van der Ven or anybody on this team. That is a disaster.
I think.
I mean, with the ones
for
you
me, right. That's right. Go on, Dan.
with the ones you mentioned though earlier, I mean, it's like Pep. I don't think he's a good example there. I mean, I know Pep's a great manager and everything and that, but for me, I still don't put him up there with the best that there's ever been as such. Maybe at the moment, because for me, as all he's ever done, he's gone to clubs where they got a shitload of money and got the best players already. I'd like to see him take over, say, Spurs right now. What could he do? What could he do at a place like Brentford? What could he do with something where he hasn't got everything on the palm of his bloody hand, basically? And you can say that about a few managers. I agree with what you said, as in, I'm not bothered about a manager that's got Premier League experience or not. I'm sure he's watched enough bloody football to understand the Premiership as such. It's only the biggest league in the world. But then after watching this fella, it does make you think that maybe a manager who has got Premier League experience would actually help here. The bit I don't agree with is when people say that we need someone who understands the club. Well, bollocks understanding the club. There's nothing to understand about the club apart from it's a complete shit show.
Yeah.
There's nothing to understand about the Spurs style of play because there is no Spurs style of play.
No,
there hasn't
there
been a
isn't.
Spurs style of play consistently for over 40 years. We've had 5 years here, 3 years there, then up, down, this, left, right, everywhere. The only consistent way we have had to play over the past 25 years, consistent style of play, has been Spursy. That is the only consistent style of play that we have had for 25 years now. And so I don't think it matters. I think it matters knowing the Premier League. I'll take back on that one because I said it, me and Stel spoke about it before, and I said I don't think it does matter. But no, it does. I think it does. But the thing I don't think that matters is whether he understands the club or knows the club. Who gives a toss what he knows about the club or understands about the club? As long as he knows his job and knows how to deal with the Premier League and what to do in situations, in a situation of a club that is fighting relegation, where someone like Pepper's never had to do that. He's never had to fight relegation. He's never had to do anything like that. Most of the big managers have never had to fight it on the other side as such. We need someone in who can do something, basically, knows how it works in the Premier League and can try and help us get out of this situation. Whether he knows the club or not, I think is totally irrelevant because there's not a lot to know about the club in this situation. Now, when we go long term, okay, I can agree that someone knowing a bit about the club culture, whatever, might do a favour. But at the moment, that's the side that I think is totally irrelevant. But I do think a manager knowing how the Premier League works would help.
Yeah, that's what I'm all for. In all honesty, the only manager that we could bring in that I would say, okay, we won't get regulated is Sean Dyche, because he's the only one who is the expert in saving teams' bacon when it comes in regards to relegation. I mean, you could bring in De Zerbi, you could bring in anybody else, and I still have that feeling that, okay, we're going to go down. Sean Dyche is the only one I know who's gonna probably grab these players by the scruff and say, "Hey, look, we got 7 games left. We need to get these points to be able to survive and stay in the Premier League."
Yeah, because Sean Dyche, right? I remember he got sacked by Burnley, right, and then they got relegated, didn't they? But he was sacked before they were relegated, right? Because had a really bad run of form, and then they sacked him, and there was a big hullabaloo about it. I remember that a lot of people came out in sympathy for Sean Dyche why they sacked him, and I can't even remember who they appointed after that as Burnley manager.
Can
I
I
can't remember, but they got relegated, didn't they?
can I tell you the problem I've got with the current situation? We're in uncharted territory. Never in the history of the Premier League has a club fired a manager with 7 games to go when they're in a relegation battle. Managers have come in with 8 games to go, 2 games to go, 9 games to go, even 4 games to go, but not in a relegation battle. No team has ever sacked a manager with 7 games to go. The most was 10, I believe. There was 10 games to go for one team. I think it was Eddie Howe that came in. But no team with 7 games to go has ever sacked a manager. So the club are in a situation that the club's never been in its entire Premier League history, but no other Premier League club has been in this situation either. So I don't know if a manager comes in and turns it around because it's never been done before with 7 games to go. There is no evidence to suggest it has been done. That doesn't mean it can't be done, but it's not been done. And
yeah,
this is the
look at
problem
the
with
evidence
bringing
on
in
the
the next
pitch.
manager. Has he got enough games and enough time to turn it around? My personal belief is, Eddie and Dan and Mari, if West Ham beat Wolves and they come out the bottom 3 and Spurs drop into it, and then we go to Sunderland, we're going to lose at Sunderland because the pressure of being in the relegation zone, we're not going to handle it. And I don't think we come out of the bottom 3 once we go into it. So if Sunderland draw or lose, I think we might be okay. But if we go into the bottom 3 before we play Sunderland, I think the championship is pretty much going to happen for us because no manager's ever done this before. I don't know what manager you bring in.
See, still, what I do, I look on the pitch, right? Because the manager can influence it, don't get me wrong, right? And they can put players in their right positions. But we've only been playing 2 or 3 players out of position. The rest have been playing in their positions. So we need to get organised. That's one good thing. Like organise the setup of the team, right? And it will give us a better chance. But the players seem, it's like they've almost given up, you know, and it's just like dire. Every single game is worse, gets worse and worse. I saw Crystal Palace game. Now, the Newcastle game, first of all, was really bad. Then the Crystal Palace game, they were playing Ole football at 60 minutes. They were doing it for about 10 minutes non-stop. Ole, ole. And then I was sitting there thinking, what the, you know, and I looked at my brother and we just couldn't believe it that Crystal Palace are playing Ole football at 60 minutes. And then the Arsenal game comes along. Flipping hell. What a disaster. And ever since, it's like it's just been one shit show after the other. And the players, it looks like they're just hiding all the time on the pitch. They're not trying. There's only a couple of players that I saw trying against Nottingham Forest as well, like really giving it a go. And that was Kevin Danso and Archie Gray. That's the only 2. But that's a given. You've got to try for your club. You're paid big money to put that sort of effort in. All right. And Archie Gray, yes, he did lose the ball a lot. He's young. He just loses the ball. He made a couple of really good passes as well. But I see the other players in the team, they're hiding. It makes me sick what they're doing on the pitch.
What it shows you, though, Ellie, with the one you said, is why he shouldn't even be on the bloody pitch, because he does lose the ball that much.
Yeah,
and
he does.
I'll give him that. He's got fight. He's got fight in it.
You can't put him in down for the fight, but it's not enough.
No, you can't.
You need quality
but it's not
in these
enough
situations.
overall. Yeah.
Yeah, you need quality.
There's the odd game where that bit of fight might just win you that game. But in general, just having the fight isn't enough. But again, we are at a stage at Spurs now where we're so used to seeing the team play fucking shit that when they just play shit, a lot of people go into one saying how much we've improved because we're now shit, not fucking shit. and that is literally the level we are at now. We are literally at a point where someone can have a respectable game, and all of a sudden everything's changed. They're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to get us in and out of trouble and that. I'm sorry, it's just not as simple as that at the moment. With what we've got in that midfield is so weak that I just can't. What does it expect us to be? I mean, let's be honest, yeah. The only reason we beat Atletico Madrid is because they came in complacent and didn't even put the effort into it until we scored a couple of goals. Yeah. Liverpool, the reason we beat them was, yes, a bit of fight, but blatantly because they didn't have their finishing boots on. If they'd have had their finishing boots on, they could have been 3-1. They could have been 3-0, 4-0 up at half time. And that's just being honest. People say that's being negative. Well, no, I'd rather be realistic than just sit there and lie to myself. I'm not going to lie to people and say what they want to hear just for the sake of a situation. And the players we've got, their mentality is one of the biggest problems. Because I still think when you look at that team, player for player, at the start of the season, there is no way you would have said that this is a relegation team. And I still wouldn't say it is a relegation team, player for player. But there's no chemistry in them. There's no mentality in it. There's no chemistry. So you can have a world-class team sitting there, but if there's no chemistry in it, it's going to go nowhere fast. And with a pretty average team like we've got, that I still don't think should be in a relegation situation, there's just no chemistry in it whatsoever. There's hardly any leadership. And then the players that we do seem to have that are meant to be our leaders don't seem to do anything. Like with Romero, he loses the ball up the top of the pitch.
Yeah.
He's just walking back to the point where it goes in the back of the net and he's just strolling back like nothing's happened. And he's done that way too many times. What good influence is that for a captain to have? It's not. And who have we got who would be best to probably be the captain? Is probably Paulinho. And he's a bloody lone player. Because Van der Ven's already started to show now that that his head's elsewhere, basically. Started off really good season, even when everything was up shit street, and then all of a sudden just totally fell apart of it with a rest.
It's true. If I'm the manager of Spurs and I see my captain do that, walking back and then they score, he's not the captain the next game. I'm dropping him. And I'm dropping him from the team and putting him on the bench. If he's lucky, he gets on the bench. You know what I mean? What is this? That ain't a professional football club that runs like that when you've got your captain trotting back. It's ridiculous. Oh,
we can look. We can talk about the players. I don't mind, but we can't change the players right now. So these players, no matter what happens, are going to be here. The only thing we can change now is the manager. That's the only thing we can change. So is it possible to change the manager and turn this around when it's never been done before in Premier League history for any relegation team? That's the question. Because the other teams, Nottingham Forest, they made their change. And, you know, they're now above us. Leeds United didn't make a change. They stuck with a Forker. And they're above us. West Ham, they made a change, didn't they, during the season? I'm sure they did.
Yeah. They appointed Nuno.
Yeah, so they made a change. They've stuck with Nuno. But what they did was they went and bought 3 or 4 attackers for Nuno in January. So they backed him. So whereas Frank, we didn't back him, we ended up sacking him. They kept their manager. So all these clubs have made their move. Our move was to sack Frank, but the guy we brought in has been worse. So we're in the first of its kind situation where we're now looking to sack the interim for another interim. It's never been done before in relegation scenario with 7 games to go. So the question is, can we bring in a manager and do something that's never been done before? Anything's possible, but all the data says no.
No, there's no other club that's Spursy. We're the only one.
Yeah,
right.
that's
we
our
are the only-
consistent style of play. You don't
So,
get a stereotypical name for no reason. Yeah, people seem to miss that one. You get a stereotypical name for a reason, and that is history that usually gives people a stereotypical name. And Spurs have got the Spursy stereotypical name for a reason, because it has been consistent for 25 years, if not further. Can we beat this? Anything's possible, I suppose. You can win the lottery and everything, so there is still that very small percentage chance that we can do it. But I think if we do, it's going to have a lot to do with how poor West Ham are, basically. It's just, you look at it and you do think, where can the bloody points come from? Because Nottingham Forest, one thing a lot of us did agree with was they've got a good defence, and personally, I think Milenkovic proved again why he's better than Romero.
Yeah.
The thing they can't do is finish, and then lo and behold, they go and play Tottenham and win 3-0.
You couldn't write
When we're
it,
meant to
man.
have this, when
Oh
we're
my
meant to have
God.
this solid defence with a world-class defender, £100 million defender, you know, and I don't know, it just don't quite add up properly.
let's bring in Alex. Let's bring in Alex because he hasn't spoken yet. Box office, welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. We're talking about the fact that Sean Dyche has said that no one's given him the phone call to come. We've got a problem with Adolf Kutter because of his name. We've got a problem with De Zerbi because Greenwood played for him. We've got a problem with the new football director because he's bang average and he would work with Lange, so Lange would stay. And we've got a problem with Tudor because he hasn't been sacked. So, Alex, whatever we do at the moment, the manager situation, it's a nightmare. What's your take on it?
Well, to answer the question, for me at the moment, it's quite clear for me that Tudor needs to go. Respectfully, part company with him 100%. Secondly, for me, I've been saying it since. Well, I wasn't happy. I admit I've been flip-flopping on this, but you know, this was only the reason why I was flip-flopping on it is because for me, interims never really work. But in this instance, at the moment, 7 games to go. The only interim I would have is Ryan Mason at the moment, or, well, I don't know about Tim Sherman because he hasn't been managing for quite a while, but someone that knows the club for me, who knows the Premier League. Whether that's, I don't think it's going to work. I think it's too late. I agree with you still. As soon as West Ham beat Wolves and we're in that relegation zone, for me, it's done and dusted for me. We ain't getting out. So for me, it might be just inevitable this is going to happen. So a very, very good, the deserving team for me that's going down for me. And I'm talking about Tottenham Hotspur. So, yeah, I mean, on the names that are coming up, what just shows you where the problem is. It's ENIC. I think it's absolutely clear right now where the problem is. And for me, I think everybody's saying what this. I've been saying for quite a while. Well, I've said recent times now, not copying anybody, just thought it out myself, that at the end of the day, you ain't got no identity. And there's no plan. I think the most important position in the club is the director of football. Whether you agree or not, you know, we've had director of football coming in and out, and it's never worked. If you don't have a plan, don't have an identity, don't have a philosophy at the top, where you're going to go? That's the future. That's what I'm talking about is the future. At the moment, though, answering the question of still, I say we need somebody that's just can just get going and just put an arm around these players and just get on with it. Whatever I think about the players, it don't make a blind bit of difference. We just need to get on with it, really, for me. That's just me at the moment, because and try and somehow get a win somehow. I don't think we're going to get wins out of it. I said it on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV. I only see draws and just losses against the main teams like Aston Villa, Chelsea. Even I don't think we're going to win. I don't think we're going to win our home games either. To be honest, because I can see us getting beaten by Brighton. I can even see us getting beaten by Everton as well. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, that's my thoughts at the moment. Mason for me.
I just want Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. See,
You know what?
do you know what? I'll come to you now, Mike. One of the issues we've got as well is I'll just give an example. You got fans like Kasima, who says West Ham ain't beating Wolves, and he's here to challenge and bring positivity. This is the same person that said we would beat Fulham. This is the same person who said we would beat Crystal Palace. This is the same person that said the bus parade's a great idea. Get behind the players. We're going to beat Forest. This fake positivity has killed Tottenham. It's destroyed the club because they're intolerant to an alternative opinion. So if you have a different view to them, they label the other view as toxic, divisive, and negative. But all their views are positive, but all their views have crumbled beneath their feet. And Tottenham is on the brink of being a championship club because of the denial that they rest in whilst calling the opposing view negative. Honestly, guys, the fake positivity that currently exists at Tottenham, it's destroyed the club. And
Toxic positive.
Even if we get relegated, they'll still do it. They'll keep doing it.
It's hilarious. Like those comments, and I went on Salva's channel and a couple of people like, what is this Yank talking about the club like that? And you know what's so funny? You know, because you even got kicked out of Twitter, out of X. We've been saying this for years. Even when I had my small little channel, we've been saying that this is coming. The incompetence of this club, the way this club operates, the way it does business, it was coming. And I'm watching now all these shows, the same positive people, right? The Sunny Talk Spurs and all these other people, right? They on Talk Sport, right? All the Flavs, all positive. When we told you, hey, the house is gonna burn down. What flames? What flames? Now they're all singing the same tune. All of the super positive, super toxic positivity people are now singing the same tunes. Like, oh man, ENIC has screwed us for years. Oh, Levy has left us, and all that, right? We told you, and you did nothing. You mocked us. You said we're not going to protest, and now, like one of my favorite rappers of all time, Big Daddy Kane, if anybody knows him, how you like me now? How you like me now? Because we've been saying it for years. We've been saying for years, and now they're all singing, oh, this club is incompetent. You were every day was saying that we were wrong, right? And it's not about being right, but we love our club. And now look at the state they're in right now, and now you're singing of the same hymn book.
Yeah. It's like ENIC have come with the matches, right? And they've pretended to light the fire, right? And then they've lit the fire and now they've torched it. They've like bring out the flares, burn the house down. It's true, Mari, what you're saying. And they had all the warnings. They had all the warnings and they did nothing about it.
I think the thing is, sorry to interject, Eddie, the thing is that's so bad about this whole thing is that I think when you're seeing the legends like Sheringham, Teddy Sheringham, Les Ferdinand, Tim Sherwood, and there's loads of them come out the woodworks now saying they're worried about the club. That just sums up how bad it is at the moment. You know, it's just one of those things where I just sit there and think, and it's just funny because I've been mocked so much since I've been on YouTube. Maybe because I've just been a bit now I'm glued to it a little bit, and the flip flopping is just incredible. Especially the person that's on your Spurs 5, Stelios. You know who I'm talking about, and it ain't Lubo, and it ain't Johnny. Well, Johnny is included because Johnny is.
How can you say
Well, you
You
know
might
what
as
I
well
mean?
say his name, Alex.
Well,
Get it out there.
there's somebody.
It's on the Spurs talk show that
It's not
banned me
Nubo.
from
It's
his
not
channel
Johnny.
because I don't stick on topic.
There's someone I really don't like on tonight's show. It's not Ellie, it's not Alex, and it's not Mari. But I can't say who it is.
It's true,
You
it's
know
true,
what I
it's true. But I'm doing a different career right now. You know what I mean? But anyway, moving on because
Alex,
I need to get straight
I
to
think,
the-
I think he's on about Sava. I think he's talking about.
Oh,
What's
no,
that?
I wouldn't be
He
doing
gets
that.
it when he's not even guilty.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
Alex, man, seriously, lay off. That's bang out of order.
I'm
listen,
with Alex.
no,
Come on,
no,
Alex.
no one,
Get it
no
out
one,
there.
no one is here to defend themselves. So let's stick to the topic here.
Yeah.
Now we're being diplomatic now, Stelios. We're being diplomatic now.
Don't be diplomatic.
Lay off.
We're being diplomatic
because-
now.
No,
I'm
because
joking, I'm joking,
no, because
I'm joking.
but I'm the one that's going to get the text messages, not you.
Oh, so you're not gonna, we're going to get text messages now. So we're getting worried now. Oh, here we go. Anyway, moving
Don't
on.
worry.
So, getting back to subject though. Yeah. So, still, don't look at me
Alex,
like
Alex,
that.
all right, okay. Do you know what? If you want to say it, say it. Alex, go on. Off you go. Say it. Say what you want.
You know what? Fire me. You know what? Fire me. I'm all open. I'm open.
No, you're here now. What? We
What do
were
you want to get
talking
off
about the
your
manager
chest?
situation, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about the manager situation. I don't know what we're talking about now.
No, we're talking about
What
the
is
management situation. I gave him my answer anyway, but I gave him my answer earlier. But my point is, though, is that I just think it is a bit of a mess at the moment. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, and it's when you've got the legends coming out about all the
Absolute
they're
shambles
saying
right now.
their pieces about the situation. It just shows you how bad it is at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So I'm listen. It's kind of like I told you so. You know what I mean? I think everyone here, it's like I told you so, isn't it? Because I've seen so many people, on YouTube, and it's like, okay, oh yeah, they just realised. You know what I mean? It's like now they're saying things that we were saying how long ago, and we're called us negative. So it's just like, I'm not worried about getting relegated anymore. I've accepted it. I've accepted it at the moment, and people can have a go at me how much they want. But I was at the protest. Oh yeah, where were you? Oh, nowhere. I forgot that. Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, where were you at the matches? Oh, you weren't at the matches. Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, but you were at the parade though, weren't you? Celebrating, making us look embarrassing. So okay, cool. So you know what I mean? You can have a go at me saying that I accepted it, but it wasn't me that did the points per game since January 0.38. It wasn't me that has made us the worst team in Europe. Yeah, 46 defeats and counting down. Let's just say that as well. And we're not the worst team of the league. It wasn't me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sorry, I just wanted to say that. You know what I mean? Back to you still. So facts don't do feelings.
We should put that song on. It wasn't me.
I just stick to this. I just stick to this narrative that we're in uncharted waters. We're in a situation where no team has ever in the Premier League had to change manager with 7 games to go when they're in a relegation battle. This has never happened. We don't know how this plays out. This could get a lot worse. It might not change at all. It might improve. We don't know. But the problem is no manager has either been approached that we've been told is being considered, or the managers we do want, there's politics now involved. In fact, let's move on to that. Let's move on to that because listen, I'm going to say this before we go on to this part. Listen, smash the like, subscribe, follow the Hotspur Hood, follow the Spurs Corner, follow Box Office TV. Ellie, you on any channels at all?
No, but I've got my TikTok at Queen Ellie Coys, and I've got my Twitter account called X, isn't it? At Spurs Are My Passion. I should put Spurs Are My Pain. I should change it.
Yeah. Self-inflicted as well.
You know what I mean?
Make sure you follow Ellie as well.
I love our club, though. I love the essence of our club.
I don't know. Do you know? I feel numb with the club at the moment. I feel numb.
Yeah,
By the
it's
way,
a
we've got
numbness. It
400 people
is.
here. We've got 400 people live. Thank you so much. Smash the like and make sure you
Lovely.
follow everyone that's on the show tonight. So I don't think any channel is going to touch this that I'm about to bring up, but I feel it needs to be discussed because it absolutely exploded. It went insane. And I get why a lot of channels aren't going to want to touch this because there's a lot of fear. And, you know, like I've said before, a lot of Spurs channels are scared of challenging opinions, asking certain questions. But basically what happened was we've been linked with De Zerbi, right? Spurs apparently, allegedly, if you believe the journalists, I mean, I don't. De Zerbi's considering joining Spurs as manager if we're in the Premier League, right? If buts, maybes. And then the LGBT section of Spurs put out this strong worded message saying that they're not happy that let's get Maz in. Big up Maz. They're not happy with the appointment of De Zerbi because of the values, the identity, and the kind of people that we represent doesn't align with what he represented. In fact, do you know what? Let me read it out. We've seen reports linking De Zerbi with the Tottenham job, and honestly, it doesn't sit right. As proud Lilywhites, we care deeply about this club, not just what happens on the pitch, but what Tottenham stands off the pitch. This isn't about results or style of football. It's about values, identity, and the kind of people who represent Tottenham. Football doesn't exist in a vacuum. Clubs set standards, whether they intend. Well, I don't know if Spurs got standards, but clubs set standards, whether they intend to or not. And those standards shape how people feel, who's welcome, and what behaviour is seen acceptable. Spurs is at a point where it needs to rebuild, not just results, but culture. The environment around the team, the training ground, yada, 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 yada. The manager plays a huge role in this. They set the tone for what they say, what they overlook, and what they defend. It all adds up. For many of us, this isn't something we can separate from football. It's part of what it means to support the club. We all want Spurs to move forward, but how we do that matters. And then they go on to say, when someone in that position publicly defends a player like Mason Greenwood and frames it in a way that downplays the seriousness of what happened, it matters not just in isolation, but what it signals. We are proud of the progress that's been made in making football more inclusive and welcoming. That progress matters and it cannot be compromised.
Okay.
And I'll finish off by saying we are not asking for perfection. We're asking for accountability, transparency, all together, always. That has to mean something. No to De Zerbi. Now, before you jump in, I know everyone's jumping at the bit, right? There's lots I want to go through, but I'll bring it up as we go along. But a political broadcaster called Andrew Gold. He's a Spurs season ticket holder. He's got a massive YouTube platform, almost 1 million. There's a lot of political debate, some controversial, some current affairs, but he's regarded highly by some, disliked by others. He put out a reply absolutely slamming wokeism and that LGBTQ should not be dictating who is the next manager. And then he questions them why they don't challenge other things, i.e. Pep Guardiola, who works for a Qatari state, who pays him, and they hate LGBT communities, and they hate they treat women differently. So he's pushing back, and it exploded. It seems half the responses were in favor of what LGBTQ put out, and this No to De Zerbi campaign gathered momentum. But then there was a massive pushback saying we're sick of this wokeness. It's double standards. What about links with Qatar? What about current players in our squad that have been linked to certain misdemeanors? And anyway, it goes on and on and on. And in the end, it's just become an absolute shit show on X. And for me, guys, before we get into it deeply and you'll have your little say, I've just painted the picture briefly. For me, the amount of energy and effort that the fan base, the fan groups, all these different sections that have come in to weigh in on this, Where's that energy against ENIC? Where's that energy
Yes.
against taking action against the owners? When we're in a relegation crisis, we've thrown all our energy at a woke yes, woke no argument, and we don't want to throw that kind of energy towards the real problem at Tottenham, which isn't De Zerbi, it's fucking ENIC. That's my stance. I can't believe the energy wasted on this, and they don't want to do it on that. So that's kind of where I'm at. Mari,
So,
you can go first.
Yeah, because I gotta go.
Yeah, go.
So when I saw this report, I all I could do was just laugh. I'm gonna say on three things. Number one, first of all, I'm gonna word this carefully. It is so tough when you have a group say that they dictate the moral police, because not everybody thinks the same. Yes, not everybody thinks the same. The IOC came out with their reporting about, trans women participating. Not everybody universally agrees. And so people are going to have their view. You have people who are pro-life, you have people who are pro-choice. So you have people who are not universally agree to a point of what is right and what is wrong. I have my beliefs of what is right. Dan does, Maz does, Alex does, and Ellie does, along with yourself. So we can only go by the standards of what the law or principle says out there. I remember this group when we first were thinking about signing Basuma. And mind you, this is not saying I like Basuma's play or the whole balloon incident whatsoever. But remember, Basuma was accused, right, for some misconduct, right, and he was found now guilty. But they had him guilty as charged. And I remember I was having a debate with that same group on X, right, that especially for me as a black man, and Alex can attest to this, that philosophy, right, innocent until proven guilty. This same group was guilty to be proven innocent. And I was telling them, well, then you're being racist. And they're like, no, we can't be racist. No, yes, you are. Because, right, through due process, right, you're stealing that person's chance of due process by saying they're guilty without going through due process, which eventually, nothing happened, in regards to Basuma. Now, going to De Zerbi and Mason Greenwood, right? We've seen the pictures, we've seen the absolutely disgusting, right? If this was Mason Greenwood joining our club, I would be like, I don't want to. But then, the principle is that every person has a right to make a living, especially if they served their time or they were exonerated in this case. So Mason Greenwood has a right to make a living. And last time I checked, he was still with the woman, right? That he, that he abused. Absolutely wrong what he did, but they're still together. He still has to make a living. Now he's making that living in France.
And she's had another baby, Mari, with him.
Yeah. So, like, they're moved on, but the people who not involved want to have a say. She's still with him, right? This reconciliation, but yet they still want to criticize. So,
do you know what? That's Mari. You know what? You make a great point there. The person that they're trying to say was the victim is still with him.
Yeah, and they've gone through, from my knowledge, they've gone through that healing.
I didn't think of that angle. I didn't think of that angle.
No, they've gone through that healing, even involve religion, right? Faith to overcome what they went through, which is so. But these hypocrites want to condemn them, even if they've gone through that. And so De Zerbi comes in, they signed the player. What do you want the man to do? To say to Marseille? Oh, no. I don't want to have this guy come in. Yes, he's still with his wife and whatsoever. It seems like they've healed whatsoever. Oh, we don't want to bring him in. Is he supposed to say that? Of course, he's going to be supportive. Say, hey, I'm bringing in this player. So for that group to be the hypocrites, and there's a long laundry list.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm not speaking as an American because there's a culture war against the woke, right? A laundry list of what they allow to then say to a club, oh, you can't sign De Zerbi. Number one, he's not the person who made the infraction, right? He accepted a player at a club, right, who has done his time. And now you want to say, oh, he can't have a job. These guys are motherfucking hypocrites. And that's why I laugh at this. Because, first of all, don't like to bring the politics in. Because, like I said, not everybody thinks the same.
Well, no, but they
would
brought
think
the
universally. You would think universally.
Mari,
You would
they
think
brought the
universally.
politics in.
Yeah.
They brought
But
the
we're not
politics
meant to
in.
talk about it. We're meant to shut up and accept all their crap.
Yeah.
Go on, Murray, sorry.
And so you would think everybody universally thinks the same, but it's not. Not everybody does, and I understand that. So we gotta go back to the principle of law. And De Zerbi has not committed a crime. He has a right to work, right? As a foreigner, because he's Italian. He has a right to work in England to have that
Mari,
position.
can I ask you a question? Mari, can I ask you a question on this? Because just something's popped into my head. I didn't just as you're talking. When De Zerbi went to Marseille, did he sign Greenwood, or was he already there when De Zerbi went there?
No, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there. I've just read about it. He was the manager that brought him. Ole Gunnar
Right, so when De
Solskjaer.
Zerbi joined Marseille, Greenwood was already at the club.
He was already there.
He
Yeah.
was already there.
Right,
And
so
the
he's
club-
inherited. Okay. Yeah, right.
And it says here-
that kind of changes it a little bit for me because you don't pick the team you inherit.
And
you don't
then
pick what players you inherit.
And then do you want him to publicly blast the player, out in the public of a player that he's inherited? That's why I said these people, man, they're hypocrites. They want to be the moral police when they got skeletons in their. I don't even want to go further, but I just think it's hypocritical. The people have moved on. They served their time. They have a right to make a living. A man, right, and a woman have a right to make a living. Now, there's certain jobs they can't do, right? If they do something heinous, like, if you have hurt women and children, right? You're not going to be, especially in the United States, you're not going to be approved to work in the school system, right? That's common sense. But in this entity, this is a sport, right? This is a game. You still have a right to make a living.
Mari, he wasn't found guilty of anything.
Yeah, he was exonerated.
So if you want to go to the other side of that one, with that, when it comes down to it, look, everyone's got their own opinions. They're entitled to it. I totally get it, yeah? But one side seems to push it on you that you have to respect their opinions and have to keep quiet to it. I'll have two words to that one. Fuck off. I will not respect anybody, anything, anybody's beliefs, anybody's religions, anybody's fucking anything, because I don't have to respect it. I only respect what I want to respect in life.
Yeah.
The thing I will show is common courtesy to it.
And
But
for
this
all
lot
those
like to push things on you to the point where you have to agree with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get labelled as, I don't know, you get labelled as a phobic this, racist that, anti this, a bigot that. Call me what you want. I genuinely couldn't
Dan, I'm with you.
Less.
I know most of the people in the chat agree. The one or two, I could give a fuck what you think.
But you know what's alarming?
I don't care about your woke things. Like, I can give a fuck about what the one or two people who think, well, I'm thinking, hey, granted.
Do you know what's an interesting observation? So I'm not on X, so I don't get to see everything that goes on. But I've got people that are on there, and I've asked them earlier on. Can you screenshot, send me? They've sent me loads. I'm going to go through some later on. But what's interesting is a lot of the fan groups like THFC Flags or different Spurs supporters groups or quite predominant Spurs influencers, they've all weighed in. De Zerbi's a scumbag. He's a shithouse. I don't want him near my club. No to De Zerbi. They've all jumped on this kind of trend, or that's the belief that they really believe in. And I find it quite convenient that they're the same groups that collaborated for the team bus, but not for ENIC out. And the people that have piled in on this De Zerbi, say no to De Zerbi, the same groups that don't want to take action against ENIC. And I'm just wondering, is this all?
I don't know why you're surprised.
Is this all diversion?
It's the other thing.
I'll come to you next. I'll come to you next.
They love to just bring trouble into where there isn't necessarily trouble, and that isn't opinionated. That is a fact. Who are the ones that will always kick up a stink, cause a problem, cause some trouble and everything? You can't do this. We don't want this at our club because women are going to feel threatened at the ground if Greenwood plays there. Fuck right off. What woman sitting up in the fucking North Stand is going to give a shit with him playing football if he goes and bangs in 20, 30 goals? I mean, at the end of the day, the case got dropped. The only bit I bring up with the case itself is if he was that guilty, she dropped the charges. But the law in England states that even if she does drop the charges, the police have to, under any allegation of rape or abuse to a woman, the police have to carry it on, even if the woman drops the charges. So she don't have to go to court or nothing, but if there's significant evidence there where she would have had to give statements and everything, and these phone calls and everything and that, the police would have still had to take it to court with significant evidence. That's something that a lot of people miss.
Dan,
Mari, hang on.
Yeah.
Well, gone, if you're going to go say.
Yeah, I'm going to check off, but I will say this. And the reason why I'm passionate about this, for some of those in the chat, I've had the chance to, a distinct honor to do, because I'm my 9 to 5, other than being a business investor, international, I'm a counselor, right? I got my degree psychology. I counsel all types of people. I've counseled people who have had a chance to have a second chance in life. Either they messed up any way possible. So I've had a chance to minister to those who were in prison or in jail about getting a second chance. And a lot of them do have a second chance in life to be a contributing member to society. Everybody has a chance to have a second going around in life, to rehabilitation. I'm very big on if that person is willing to. I understand there are those, you do the crime, you do the time, right? Either if it's the death penalty or whatsoever. But once you come out, right, do you want that person head straight? Do you want that person to go to rehab? Do you want that person to be reconciled to themselves and to that situation? Yes, right? You don't want that person coming out so yes, De Zerbi signed him, right? The man has a right to have a second chance in life, to make a wage for his family, to make a living, to put bread on the table. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Love you guys. I'm out.
Make sure you follow the Spurs Corner, Mari, Iggy, Maz, and all the boys over there. JP, big up. Let me bring in Maz, Dan. I want to bring in Maz.
Can I just finish what I was going to say?
Oh, sorry.
Go for it. Because I stopped for Mari so he could finish. So when it all comes down to it, I find a lot of people do like to only take one side of a story when there's always more than one side to a story. The reason I do know a bit about this sort of thing is because I've seen it happen to people. There's always more than one side to a story. The reason I do know a bit about this. What is happening there? I've seen it happen.
I think Mari's on.
Mari's not
Mari, it's all right. Go on. Carry on.
I've seen a couple of mates go through a few things in life where because they didn't want to be with someone, they got accused of everything left, right, and centre, and one of them basically got accused of it to the point that he nearly ended his life over it. Because people seem to think that whatever a woman says is gospel. Now, I'm not saying he didn't do a couple of them things. I'm not saying he wasn't a wrong un. Some of the things did show it was, but I just think there was more than two sides to the story. And if it was deeper than that, the police would have had to prosecute anyway. So there's something definitely not right about this story. At the end of the day, the rules in England are innocent until proven guilty. He didn't get proven guilty of anything. And it couldn't have been that much of a strong case if the police did not follow it through. And personally, do I give a fuck if he comes to Tottenham and scores 20, 30 goals? No, I really don't. At the end of the day, I don't think
the issues on Greenwood coming to Spurs. It's more
no,
deserved.
it's the fact of that's what I was going to go to, and the fact that De Zerbi has turned around and said, "Look, he's a good kid. He's doing his job, getting on with it." Who actually cares? What has it got to do with De Zerbi coming to Spurs? Not that he probably will, and it would only be again this LGBTQ 1000+ crap that would do something about it. And I'm sorry, I can't take people serious who tell me a man is a woman and a woman is a man. That is my beliefs and I'm entitled to that. Same as other believe to think about that a man could be a woman and anyone could be a unicorn. Do you know what? Like I've said before, fuck it. Let's just go and be a lamppost. As long as I save goals, I'll bet you people won't give a shit. With all that, it's just them causing trouble again. And if you dare go and say anything back to it or dare have a chat about it, then next thing you know, you're labelled everything under the sun. And this is why a lot of people keep their mouth shut, because they're scared of getting labelled. Well, I'm sorry, but I couldn't care less. Label me as you want. You will not get me to keep my mouth shut about anything like that. Why have they got to bring up something that has got fuck all to do with Tottenham? Because Greenwood ain't coming here. And I don't think De Zerbi is either. But why have they got to bring up something to do with that? And say that he's a wrong un coming to Spurs and everything else. We don't want him here because he's managed Greenwood. Now, the last point I'll bring on it is
Dan. I think it's because it's because he said Greenwood's a good boy,
yes,
good player. He praised him, but the argument is, as a manager, it's your job to elevate your players.
Yeah,
that's the argument. Where you sit. Each their own.
Exactly. And maybe he has been a good fella there. Maybe he has been a good fella around him. I mean, you can only proper judge someone when you really see him face on and get to know him, can't you? It's like on YouTube.
Well, your job as a manager is to get
your
job as a manager is to get the best out of your players.
I agree. But then I'm also a firm believer that there should not be no rainbow bloody flags at Spurs and there should be no political shit at any football club, any sport. I don't believe it should have any politics involved into it. I don't think it should have any debates about every bit of politics that they put into it and all the flags that they put over it and going on one knee and all this. I think that's all bollocks. I think they should leave all of that out of sport and let what is made for that stuff, the political side, to deal with that shit. Not that most of them could deal with anything. Whereas when it comes to sport, I think everything should be taken out of it and it is purely based on sport. I don't want to go football to watch a political fucking event. If I want to watch that, I'll watch something on YouTube. I think all politics should be left out of sport. Sorry, go on. I've said my bit.
No. Listen, you said exactly what you felt, and that's what this channel's about. Everyone's allowed to have their views. Maz, before I bring you in, I just want to say two quick things. First of all, before you came on, we were saying how we were linked to Adolf Hutter. And that's problematic because of his name, the type of fan-based club that we traditionally represent. De Zerbi, that's now problematic because the LGBT community has started the No to De Zerbi campaign, which is gaining traction off other sections of the fan base. We've got a problem with Sean Dyche because on TalkSport today, he said that no one's even contacted him. And we've got a problem with Tudor because he's still the manager. So it seems like the club have got themselves into a mess. The fans are creating a mess. And on top of it, and read it, it's this political commentator, Andrew Gold, who responded to the LGBTQ message. I'll read it quickly. I've been going to Spurs since I was 4 years old. Quite a punishment in recent years, this is. Like any other corporation, the club has soaked itself in cultish waters of woke. Recently, they held an Islamic prayer at the stadium for seemingly no reason. They also have been bringing these guys, Spurs LGBT, out before games to tell the children in the stands who they like having sex with. Spoiler alert, the former would throw the latter off a building for it. One corner of the stadium is now draped in the biggest trans flag you've ever seen. Almost nobody asked for this. Almost nobody wants this. People go to the football to get away from being lectured by morality police, even if it's for 90 minutes. As with any cult or society, minorities who receive special treatment begin to feel entitled. Now, it is no longer enough to dominate the culture around football. This group believes it can dictate which manager Spurs can hire. The manager in question is De Zerbi. He isn't accused of doing anything himself, but of being associated with the player who has. If Spurs are relegated, a great many very real people will lose very real jobs. Children will suffer from their parents being fired. Do these people care, i.e. the LGBT community? This shows how shallow their performative caring is, and we are sick of it. Maz, this is a very strong worded response. He does speak on behalf of everyone in that, but he doesn't speak on behalf of everyone. He should have spoken on what he thinks, not everyone thinks this. Nobody wants it. So when he put that out, he should have spoken as himself, not everyone. But it's caused a shitstorm. You've got half the fan base like, yes, mate, this guy, well done, great response. Then you've got the other half is saying, no, we're with the LGBTQ, no to De Zerbi. It's split the fan base. But whilst this is split, we've still got a problem with Adolf Hutter and Sean Dyche. Maz,
Adolf Hutter.
The floor's yours.
Well, I'm not going to say too much on it. I for one, agree with what Andrew Gold has said. We identified this when we started Tottenham away, still, that the club has been focusing on more modern day social, economic things and social political things rather than focusing on the football. We've seen that by them focusing on revenues and entertainment and social issues rather than merit. And what we mean by merit is winning things. At work, you don't want to be judged on who you identify with or what your sexuality is or what color your skin is or where you're from. You want to be judged on your merit, how good your job is, how good you are at the job, right? And you know, and the content of your character, right? You know, don't judge people by the color of the skin, by the content of their character. That's the way I've been brought up. And that's the way I believe that the world should function. You know, you don't see race or religion. You judge people by the content of their character and their merits. And Spurs is right in what he said, that they've gone down this woke route, and you can see that with the flags that have been allowed in the stadiums, with the religious activities, with their alignment to political figures in the past. And I don't agree with any of that. I agree with what Mari said and what Dan has said. Politics should be out of football. We should be concentrating on the well-being of the club and merit, i.e. winning things and being a successful football club. And we shouldn't be pandering to any specific groups or minorities or anything like that. We should be run like a football club that all we think about is football, right? And we're not. And when what I was saying to you earlier, Estelle, is when you said, oh, you know, you were surprised. I know you're saying it like in a figure of speech, but I wouldn't be surprised by all of this, because this has been Tottenham Hotspur, and I believe one of the reasons why we're in the mess we're in now is because of all of this wokeism. You know, let me. I want to bring it back to football rather than the political stuff. Remember, we had Daniel Levy, right, prioritizing top four as opposed to just winning trophies, right, and buying good players and stuff like that, right? Yeah. That mentality in itself isn't a merit-based mentality, right? He was just happy to be up there. He wasn't happy. You know, he wasn't trying to win anything. He wasn't trying to get the best players possible.
It's a monetary.
It's a monetary exercise.
It's a monetary exercise. Yeah, of course.
So to wrap it up, I don't have much else to say on it. I don't agree with that group. this LBGT group. I don't agree with what they stand for. I don't agree with. You can see it in their logo, in their flag, right? I don't agree with it. I agree with everything that Andrew Gold has said. To be honest with you,
I want to bring in Ellie because you
Yeah.
are a female on the panel, so you come at it
I
from a
am.
different perspective to all us men, right? Although us men are different as well. The one thing I want to say about the flag is this: I think the flag should be banned on the grounds that other flags have been banned. So either all flags are allowed or none at all, because the Israeli flag is banned, the Palestinian flag is banned. They tried to ban the Cypriot flag, and we had to go to war with the club to keep it. They allowed the Ukrainian flag to show solidarity with Ukraine, but then that's showing favoritism. So my view on the flag is, if you
But you can't show an England flag.
If that's the case, then I didn't know.
No,
that,
you can't show an England flag because people say it can be offensive, and people say that it can also be intimidating.
Ridiculous.
Oh yeah, when people put up the flags on the streets now. Okay, yeah. But my point
No,
is,
even at football grounds,
Spurs,
and that they're not meant to do it a lot of the time.
well, Dan, for me, the point I'm making is, I don't know every single flag that's not allowed or allowed, but my point is this: if the LGBTQ flag is allowed, I'm okay with that, as long as every other flag is allowed. But if they get special dispensation and other flags aren't, then that is discrimination against everyone else, and that's why I would say no to it unless you say yes to everything. Either we're all included or we're not all included. It can't,
but we're not.
for me,
We're
it can't
not.
be one or the
But
other.
Tottenham Hotspur isn't a social cultural melting pot of groups. We're one tribe. We're Tottenham Hotspur fans, right? We're united under one banner, right?
That's
all
true.
we care about is Tottenham and the love of Tottenham and our players and our managers and everything else that comes with it. Not what religion or culture or sexuality people are, but they are bringing this stuff into the stadium, and they shouldn't, right? And this is where I agree with you, Stel. I don't agree in the sense that I don't think they should allow any flags. The only flag that should be raised up at Tottenham Hotspur, right? If we want to be pedantic about it, is the country that they're from, right? And the Tottenham flag, right? Because we're a British club, right, in the United Kingdom, and we're Tottenham Hotspur. They're the only two flags that should be allowed in that stadium. And
I could go with that. I could go with that. So, yeah. All right, Ellie, the lady of the show.
Yeah.
What's your take on this? Where are you? How do you feel? Where do you sit with this kind of this argument that's exploded on the internet?
Right. So I always like to read about what's happened before I comment. So I did a little bit of a squat because I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't really go into it in depth. So I've got here charges of attempted rape and assault have been dropped against Manchester United footballer Mason Greenwood. The 21-year-old was arrested in January 2022 amid allegations surrounding images and videos. He was later charged with attempted rape, controlling and coercive behaviour, and assault occasioning actual bodily harm. Right, so he did do some things, right? But what I don't get is why they're painting De Zerbi as this devil, right? That he's against all women. He's against Mason Greenwood because of these charges. All right, and he's backing, not against him, backing him. But like you said, Stel, he's his manager. He's there to motivate him, to get him ready for a game, ready to play for Marseille. He wasn't the one who signed him either. But that doesn't mean, anything really. But the main thing is, I read about the chairman, the president of Marseille, and he went to his own mother to see if it was the right thing to do in terms of, PR and, not upsetting
He asked his
people.
mum.
He asked his mother, who's a prison officer in Spain, and she gave him the go-ahead, right? So she's a woman like myself, All right. So whatever he's done, right? The lady he's with at the moment, he's had another child with her, so she's forgiven him, obviously. And everybody makes mistakes in life. Everybody, we've all done. Maybe not like what he was accused of, right? But everybody's allowed redemption as well. And the lad's gone to Marseille to build up his career.
Ellie, I'm
Like
just playing devil's
Mari said-
advocate. Ellie, I'm
Yeah,
just playing devil's advocate. Okay. Would
yeah.
you be saying that if that was your daughter?
I would if there's a lot of circumstances here, right? So if my daughter said to me, "Mum, I forgive him," right, and he was out of control on that particular day, and he maybe have drunk a lot or whatever the circumstances were, right? If it was me, I would leave it to my daughter to make that decision. I wouldn't really get involved because I'm her mother, but it's up to her to make her own decision. And that lady made the decision to stay with him. So obviously there was love there, all right? And she didn't press the charges, the full charges. It was the police who pressed those charges. So it's hard, but I would actually say, hand on heart, I would let my daughter make her own decisions because that's what you do. You support, but you let the daughter make her own decision. All right. And that lady made the decision to stay with Mason Greenwood and make a life with him.
So based on what you've just said, then, if we made De Zerbi our manager, would
Yeah.
you be
I'd
okay
be
with
ha-
it?
I-
Or would you?
I'll be 100% okay with it. And there's no
Okay, so you
qualms about
Zerbi.
it.
Alex, have you got anything you want to say on this, or is this something you're not? You just well, in fact, what do you have to say about it, Alex?
I didn't know how much it was much more of a how much it was making a big storm in the fan base as much as what I found out just now, to be honest with you.
It's massive all over X, mate.
I mean,
it's all over.
Because I mean, I'll be more focused. I mean, without me getting involved in the whole, because I don't want to get involved. Again, Mr. Boxoff has been diplomatic, but I have to do that because I just can't get involved in that side of things at the moment. With respect, I do feel that the energy for this just shows you where we're at as a club at the moment. For me, we're in the precipice getting relegated,
Yeah.
and this issue has taken its focus more than the club at the moment. And again, I'm not dismissing the issue of what's going on at the moment, of what people's views are. I ain't getting involved in that because I'm here on a football stream, so I ain't for it, and that's just the way I am on Tottenham on a platform like this. So, but the energy that we're showing at the moment for this, I wish it was the same energy for our football club. That's all I would say at the moment, because maybe, or I would thought that would have been more helpful, and actually might have brought us together more, like it's done for the rivals, like Arsenal, like Manchester United when they weren't happy, like Newcastle. And we would have made better, we would have tried to really help the cause of trying to help our football club not make the stupid mistakes that we're doing now, basically, at the moment. I didn't want De Zerbi at the moment because of the fact is that at the moment, I don't think we need, I'll go back to what I said earlier. We need a structure in place first and a philosophy first, and a plan before we can start.
But Alex, for relegation, we're not going to get that. We just need someone.
But I'm just saying because they were talking about long term, right? I wouldn't
Fair enough.
have that. I would, yeah. I need to clarify. I'm not talking about relegation because you know my answer on what the next 7 games are. I've told you about Mason, but for me, long term, I'm going back to my last answer for the first question that you answered is that I need a plan up there and a philosophy and a director of football, which is the most important position in my opinion. And as you said, chief executive and a philosophy, and then we start looking at coaches, because I don't think the coaches actually matter if you get rid of the coaches, right? So for me, getting into Zerbi was the wrong call for me, right? Just to answer that, right? Not getting involved in what things around it and what's gone on with his previous club. That's just me personally, right? But yeah, I just think for me, the answer for me is that the energy that we're showing for this, with respect to what everyone's view is, I wish we had the same energy for our football club right now. You know, trying to get out ENIC, try to, you know, figure out, trying to make it clear to these people at the moment that we ain't got a plan, even if we get relegated. I wish we had more plan and more energy for that, come together for the club, rather than what we're seeing at the moment. Because I didn't actually realise how big this was until I've just come on the screen today, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Fair enough. I agree. Why is the energy going here? It's perfect for ENIC. Distraction again off the football.
But it's
just
all
want to say-
interlinked, Stel. Sorry, just on this last point. I know you want to move on, but
No, go for it.
and this is about football. It's all interlinked, isn't it? Because if our fans were more interested in the football side, then maybe they would protest or understand the situation we're in and voice their opinions on the football side more, right, and be more unified. But it seems to me they're more interested in other things. You know, you would think now would be the perfect time for people to protest, and even in our darkest hour, which is basically now, not you know, they'd rather go and you know, celebrate an empty bus.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to bring on Dietrich, get his view. I just want to say to everyone in the chat, thank you for keeping it a pretty calm chat. I was actually worried tonight that I was going to be and to time people out when we brought this up, but everyone's been pretty well behaved. So good on you. Respect. Thank you very much.
You know what it is, Phil?
Dietrich.
I think it's because everybody's
Emily.
giving really good answers, really thoughtful, well thought out answers.
It's either that or they're just fed up of time. They've just given up. It's like just another drama in it. Just another thing to just sink us. But yeah, let's go with what you said. I think your explanation is the best one. We're just brilliant at what we do, aren't we? We're just superb.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to get ruined now because here's Dietrich. God help us. Dietrich, keep it clean. But what's your take on this, Dietrich? We've got an issue with Adolf Hutter because of his name. We've got an issue with because it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's only Tottenham.
As soon as anybody says Adolf Hutter, everybody laughs.
Do you know what? If you think of all the managers in world football that you might consider, who at Tottenham said, "Oh, that Adolf guy, that's the one we should leak to the media. That's the one we should tell the journalists."
Still, when I saw his name, I actually thought it was a meme at first. I actually thought it was the person in World War II. I actually thought it was that at first, but then I reread again, and then I saw Adolf Hutter.
It was real, yeah.
I feel sorry for the guy a little bit because it's not his fault.
Because of his name.
Yeah, like it is funny. I'm not going to deny
it's for calling him Adolf.
Hilarious, right? But it's in a way I do feel bad because you think, well, you know, we're all like laughing at him because of his name, not because of what he can do, you know, and stuff like that. So it's wrong in a sense.
Why would that doesn't make it your child that name?
I know.
Why would you christen your child
absolute
name?
Madness. It's absolute madness.
Where is he from?
Austrian.
Originally.
He's originally from where Adolf Hitler was from.
Like
It kind of makes sense.
He's Austrian.
Listen,
The Germans.
That aside, Dietrich, what's your take on what's your take on what's happening here with the whole manager situation, and specifically this whole woke in, woke out war that's broken out amongst the Spurs fans online?
I'll just keep it short and simple. Instead of protesting or making your voice heard against the owners, you're more worried about a guy called Adolf, which is not his fault. His parents named him that way, and you actually think that just because the Zerbi defended one of his players that he bought and he believed in, no, because no, you don't want him. You're saying because like you support like whatever the fuck he did, Greenwood. We're the thickest fan base. We're in honestly one of the worst situations we've ever been in our lives, and people are more worried about those dumbest things. This is why I always said we deserve the relegation. Look at the TFC flags. Oh, we shouldn't support the Zerbi. Oh, we don't want Adolf. Mate, we're not in a position to make decisions. We are at a fucking rock bottom. And this is what I'm gonna say. Like, if I say more, I'm probably gonna get your show cancelled. If we were on Rumble,
say what you want, but just don't break the rules of what is acceptable to say. Is what that's what I'm asking.
No, you know me. We always speak on the phone. You know how I talk. It's better if I don't say what I'm about to say.
Yeah,
it's just
You
better.
turned into Jose Mourinho.
I like the way he just implicated me into what he does now.
Yeah.
You know the way we talk on the phone.
There's no reason to blow the situation up, mate. It's you don't need to go that far. Go on.
No, it's not that far. It's just like fuck. Like honestly, like we're gonna see TFC flyers with like all the LGBTQ. Like what does that have to do with fucking Greenwood? Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. What does that have to do? Greenwood made a mistake. His partner pardoned him. They have a second shot. Can we learn to fucking move on?
That's it.
The Zerbi is one of the best things we can get. Like, of course, he's not a serial winner like I like, but unfortunately, we're in a situation where the Zerbi is the best we can get. And then we have this fan base, instead of going to the high street and protesting against the owners, they care about one little mistakes. We're all human. Nobody's perfect. Yes, you went overboard. Yes, if that was my child, it would be a different story. But it's not for me to judge. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody is.
Dietrich, I think you said the great thing you said is there. It's like how they're almost saying he's guilty by association.
Yeah.
And what kind of people and group would do that? It's like what makes sort of cancel culture wrong and things of that nature. And again, I don't think what I feel uncomfortable about this topic is I can go full political, right, and start.
Me too.
Talking about left, right, and capitalism and communism and all that sort of stuff and socialism and yada yada yada. But it's like we should be talking about football, not talking about this.
It's the same. Well, the reason they do it as well, they don't give a fuck at the end of the day. It's just another thing to throw their political opinion across the screen. Simple as that. They don't actually give a shit. It's just, there you go. There's another reason for my political correctness story and everything. And that's purely the reason why they do it, in my opinion.
No, but it's the same way, like, no, just quickly, it's the same way, like, when they made it political with, like, for example, the World Cup in Qatar. Like, what does it have to do with anything? How about we just focus on what happens on the pitch and stays on the pitch?
Do you know what's interesting? I saw on one of the screenshots, I've got it somewhere here, I'll find it in a minute. One of the screenshots someone sent me on X was, so Matt Hayes, typically, he weighed in on it, this is...
Yeah, of course, because he's a part of the LGBTQ. It makes sense.
Right, well, he weighed in on it.
Yeah.
As he often does with these situations.
What did you say? LGBTQT HDMI PS5? What?
Or MI5?
And there goes the show. No, but hold on. Matt Hayes weighed in, and he had his say as
he's the Irish boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the one that doesn't protest, doesn't demonstrate, doesn't boycott, doesn't do anything about ENIC. But when it comes to this is far more important than the club completely collapsing, which is my issue with him and all of those that are throwing energy at this, not just Matt, everyone. But someone put something about, but why don't you protest about Pep Guardiola, who works for a Qatari state that hates LGBTQ? Someone, a state that has a different view towards women. Why did you support Harry Kane, who went to the World Cup playing in that country? So by association, those things are okay. But when it comes to this, you want to weigh in. And I thought, you know what? That's a valid argument. That's a fair thing to say to him. And it just escalated into this absolute but you know what though? But I thought that was a fair point to make, because it's like what I said earlier to Dan. Either everyone's flag or nobody's flag. You can't then pick and choose what parts of LGBTQ woke matters apply, but we'll ignore the rest when we're associated to that. That's the bit that I took from that response to Matt and others. I thought it's true. Are we just making a big hoo-ha out of this?
Can I just make one thing quickly?
There's no consistency to my point.
I've seen those people, like especially some of the members of the TFC flags. I'm not going to name names. They're the same ones giving those criticism about LGBTQ, but they're the same ones that travel to Dubai for vacations.
Yeah,
what does
this
like make it make sense?
But this is where we have to.
That's the hypocrisy. That's the hypocrisy of it.
Plus, you know what I want to add, right? Every country has been in some part of their history has been really anti-gay. Every country, that is. All right. So when we blast other countries for being like that, this country's been like that as well. I mean, in the 1960s, when the actor, I can't remember his name, he came out and spoke up against it, that they were getting sectionalised and thrown out of society. So no country can hold his hands up and say they haven't done any misdemeanours in that quarter. That's what I don't like, is when they slate one country when their country's been like that as well.
It's the thing is with this country, Eddie.
Two bads don't make a wrong right, does it? Two bads don't make a right.
It's like what Stel said. Everything is basically two-tier when it comes to not just this country, but when it comes to everything in this country, like what flags are allowed to be flown at stadiums and what flags are not, what is allowed to be said, what isn't allowed to be said. I mean, fucking hell, these days you can get arrested and put in prison just because you have a different opinion that doesn't match the political correctness side of it, or what they call political correctness. It's the same at a football ground. I mean, I remember what was it, a referee getting the sack and losing his career because of how he described someone on the pitch on what they looked like, for God's sake. Well, how else did you want him to describe the fella? It's very two-tier, and I agree with Stel. Do you know what? If I can see an England flag there, Spurs flags all around the place, bloody this flag, that flag, and they go and stick an LGBTQ flag up there, I don't agree with that shit. But do you know what? If everyone can have their stuff all over it, then so be it. You can't keep doing things of one rule for one and one rule for another. That is what ends up turning people against another side. And that is one thing politics and also Tottenham are extremely good at. Divided and conquered. Because it's much easier to fight 3, 4, 5, 6 little teams than it is one big team. And that is the way I feel a lot of things are done just everywhere. It's two-tier.
True.
Danny, let me get Danny and Alex, and then I'll bring you back in. I just want to get Danny to have a say quickly. Danny, where are you at with this? The Adi Hatta because of his name, the Zerbi because of LGBTQ campaign,
HDMI
Sean
PS5.
PS5. Sean Dyche, was on TalkSport today saying the club haven't even contacted him, so he doesn't know what the interview was talking about, with links to him and Tottenham. Tudor's still the manager. Danny, what are we doing here?
It just, to me, Star, I sent you that message when you sent me that thing. I sent you that message with what I what I felt about it, because I don't really go on and have interactions with people on Twitter anymore because it's just a waste of time. But for that thing, I just had to say something, and for me, it just goes to show. Do you know what? There's certain points in that statement that they made, which I can get on board with, I can agree with. But as an overall, right? What bugs me is the statement itself. It's why they've done the statement. Is to try and stop Spurs, or to put out their feelings that the overall consensus of the fan base is that's what they feel, which is a load of crap, because that's just a very small minority of fans that feel that way they feel about De Zerbi. Now, the first thing I think about it is, number one, it's hypocritical, right? Right, it's completely that it's a hypocrite, because they're talking about De Zerbi liking a player who was not charged, who so like Mari said earlier, was exonerated, or essentially he was he didn't get convicted is the word, right? He was not convicted, right? They found him not guilty, and yet he's still, Mason Greenwood is, like Ellie said, has got 2 kids with this woman, and they're happy together, right? They've just had a recent baby, so it's biased. It's like propaganda, right? It's like trying to push out a side of a story that's not true to try and get people on board when it's a load of crap, right? That's what I don't like about it. The second thing I don't like about it is the fact that if they're going to do that, right, then why don't they do exactly the same thing about Vinay, who signed a rapist, right, and helped Arteta while he was there, right, stay at the club until only, was it this summer that he left, when they released him after they didn't win the league and they didn't need him anymore. And then as soon as he was released, he was charged, of 2 accounts of assault, sexual assault, right? And recently he's been charged another 2 accounts. So for me, where's the same energy for that as it is for something someone was actually acquitted for? It makes it's hypocrisy of the highest level, right? For me. And then on top of that, the one thing that makes it even worse about that statement, right, is the fact that they've got the energy on the audacity to put out a statement about rumors, right? It's not even concrete. It's rumors, right? To put out rumors about us not trying to go for a manager because of that reason, when the whole reason we are in this situation is because of the poor decisions, lack of management, and the misjudgment of decisions and whatever, in the way that this club has been run, right? Everything is a shit show because of ENIC, right? They wouldn't even have to put out a statement about De Zerbi if that's what they really feel about De Zerbi, if ENIC did their jobs properly. So why are they not using that same energy to say no to ENIC, not say no to De Zerbi, who's a bloody rumour? It makes absolute no sense whatsoever. Say no to ENIC. ENIC put us in this situation. So why are you saying no to De Zerbi when ENIC put us here? Say no to fucking ENIC.
That's right.
It makes no sense.
And do you know what? Right,
and this is why, Stel, I cannot stand this fucking fan base, right? And I said to you the other day, right? I'm probably even to the point where I'm more extreme than you, where I said I don't give a shit about this fan base anymore, because apart from us lot, like the very small minority of us, right, that actually care in the way that we care, and the way we talk about Spurs, the way how passionate we are, right? For me, these fans need absolute capitulation of the highest order to finally wake up, or they all need to go to Specsavers and have another eye test to actually see what is going on at this fucking football club, until they realize this. ENIC are going to stay the same. Nothing's going to change. And Stel, I'm against you in the fact that you think relegation will make ENIC change. I think it's not going to
No.
make them change at
No.
all. At
It's
all.
delegation.
I think it's going to be worse.
It's delegation, not relegation.
Okay,
Do you know what? I
delegation,
have to-
right? But what I'm saying is though is that I think it will be worse, right? Because of what I've just
that's a
said is
different
they
argument.
don't know what
That's a
they're
different
doing.
argument.
They've got no idea what they're doing.
Danny, I just
Anyway,
wanted to
that's
say, right?
that's my rant on it.
Thank
Can I
you, Danny,
just
for listening
can I
to
just
Mr.
comment
Box
on
Office, by
something
the way.
Danny
Ellie.
Thank
said?
you.
Ellie, I
And
did
you're
say
welcome.
Alex next. I'll bring you after Alex. I will bring
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny.
Go on, Alex.
And you're welcome for listening to Mr. Box Office as well. When I was on Spurs Talk Show, when everyone was laughing at me saying that I didn't care about this club getting relegated, I got absolutely rinsed to pieces. Well, I didn't get rinsed to pieces, and people laughed at me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I don't want relegation, Alex. I don't want relegation because I don't trust this board. But
I don't trust this board either.
I'm kind of at that point now where I think maybe
cares
this
now?
fan base needs it to really feel like the consequences of their actions.
But bro, like I said,
And also, Dietrich's, you're a bitch.
The difficulty thing with this. Okay, but
Sorry, go on, Alex.
Because I'm trying to keep it neutral because of the subject, right? Okay.
Don't need neutral things. Then he's a bitch.
Whoa. Guys,
Let's keep it on the show.
because we're talking about something serious.
Shut
here.
up.
Yeah, no dick sucking, please. Not in front of the woman.
Right.
Can we stop talking about dicks and penises for 5 minutes?
Dietrich loves it.
Yeah, I realise a dick, isn't he?
Whoa.
Ellie, Danny, Dietrich,
Come on,
unmuted you so Alex can speak. Right, Alex, go on.
Right,
I've
okay.
muted them. Go on.
It's not. I just think it's just the problem is with this subject at the moment. It gets into very deep things where then it's like, okay, this is why we can't really get into it. You get what I'm saying, And this is why I think it needs to go back to football. And this is where my problem is at the moment. I think we're just focusing too much on outside things and not going into the football side of things. This is where I think ENIC and the club have completely not done this right at all for me, right? And the issue is at the moment is that with all this going on, we might be still keeping Tudor. You know what I mean? And for me, that's says a lot to me that now we've got a 3-week break, and you're now waiting for the decision to be made on the manager, and this is all coming up, and then you've got Daesh or whatever's going on there, and then you got this, and then you got the Adolf guy from Monaco. It just feels to me like it's just no control and no leadership to just to diffuse the situation and to move on from this, because now you've got fans saying this, you've got fans saying this, you've got so many opinions and everything else, and it just, for me, it's so tiring at the moment for me as a Tottenham fan that I understand why people are now not watching Tottenham anymore and just don't want to bother anymore, because it's like, why would I bother? Because I want to, for some Spurs fans, they come to watch their club to get away from life issues. You know what I mean? Get away from real life issues. You know what I mean? And if you're gonna be bringing in real life issues into football, what is the point? What is the point? You know what I mean?
Fair point, Alex.
What is the point?
You're on mute,
and it's not because it's not because I don't want to show, because it's like when people start talking about their jobs and everything else. Oh, I've got this, I've got that. I've never thought that this should have been something that needs to be spoken about on a football stream. It doesn't matter what the bloody job is or what you know and what your knowledge is. It's about the football, right? And I just think at the moment, and this is why I think we deserve to get relegated, because I just think it's just too much of this now. It's no football anymore, right? I feel I'm more interested in what's on stream and what's in the political stuff than actually watching my bloody team playing at the moment. You know what I mean? And this is where I think we're just getting completely and utterly lost at the moment. Completely and utterly lost.
This is why, Lex, we
and this
need
is like
a major.
Yeah.
Well, this is why we need a major reset. And this is where I disagree with Danny. The fans aren't going to force the reset. The fans are too busy having woke wars and bus parades. Okay. Only relegation will force any form of a reset, whether it takes 1, 2, 5 years. We could have done the reset when Poch said it's time for a painful rebuild. When he said it, that was a time to do it. We didn't want to do it, and we should have done what Arsenal did, where they did the reset when they were finishing 8th, mid-table. Said, right, we need to reset the club. We've had plenty of opportunities to reset when we finished 7th, when we finished outside the top 4, when good managers. We've had plenty of times. We didn't want to do it. So now, when we get relegated, that will be the painful rebuild that Poch spoke about. It's a shame we couldn't do it in the Premier League, but we as a club have chosen not to do that. Relegation will be the painful rebuild, mark my words. And we've done it the hardest way possible, and that's down to ENIC. Let me bring in Ellie, and then I'll bring in Adam, because Adam was saying, "Still get me on. I've got to talk about this. I've got that." So he's here. Ellie.
Yeah, I was just picking up on Danny, right? Because I like Danny's passion as well. He's a good lad, even though Dietrich don't like him, right? But to be serious, right? This LGBT group, they're associated with Spurs, aren't they? They're in Spurs, because I've seen like a guy went into this room with loads of those people talking about how they're associated with the club, and they've got the acceptance of the club, blah 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 blah. Right. So I'm thinking, right, if the club knew about this, they would have spoken to the club about not hiring De Serbi. So they've already got one over these idiots at our club by putting out this statement. All right. And I'm going to go left wing now on your point as well, because I've said about that. I don't really want to talk about more about that. But I always, when I hear somebody say rebuild, I challenge it, right? Because at Spurs, under ENIC, we haven't built anything. So how can you have a rebuild if you haven't even built anything? What we've done is destroyed and destructed everything. We haven't built anything. Even under Poch, right? We had 11 good first team players. That's not building. Building is what Arsenal have done. And I hate to say this, but they're building, right? And they didn't need a rebuild because they already had come from a strong point, but they've made themselves even stronger. That's what we should have done. We should have built with Poch a squad of players that were just as good as one another to make it very competitive, and we would have gone over the line. But what did our owners do? They didn't back him like every other manager, so we haven't built anything. So to go down your route, I do agree with you that this will be a reset, but it's not a rebuild because we haven't built anything. Sorry, we haven't built nothing at Spurs. The only thing we built is a shiny new stadium where other people can come in and they create revenues for themselves. But they've taken their eye off the ball, and that's why the fans have taken their eye off the ball as well, because they just don't know what they're doing, the fans. It's not, like Dan said, divide and conquer. That's what they've done. They've split the fan base, and what they do, every single window, they'll put a few droplets in, but take other things away. All right, so I'm disillusioned with the whole shebang. It's one big shit show, rubbish.
Well, maybe if we stopped trying to play like it, then we wouldn't have so much of a problem.
That's to do with ENIC as well, because we're not buying the quality of players.
There's a lot we're doing incorrectly. Adam, you're on mute, so you might want to unmute yourself. Welcome to the show.
How you doing? Yeah, thanks for letting me in still.
That's all right. Far away.
It's been a minute since our beans and toast conversation.
Beans on toast. I had that today.
We are Spurs TV says we need no, wrong one. We need Bob the Builder. We need a lot of Bobs. A hell of a lot of Bobs. Yeah, Adam, what is it you wanted to talk about?
I just wanted to get on and just have a chat. I mean, I'm hearing there was something that Mr. Box Office was saying, and then I was so listening to what else. I was like, I don't want to not listen, and then when you've got an idea of what you're going to say about something, but I just like there was something he was saying that I was going to say on. Mate, it's gone now, but
you were in the chat saying, "Stel, get me on. I need to speak about this. I need to speak about this."
No.
How can you forget?
But I think the fan base is absolutely split. It's a shit show.
Yeah.
What's the saying? A fish rots from the head down. But you know what? I still believe that the tail's still flapping. Right? I still believe that this isn't. We feel like this. We feel like people that are saying that we're relegated already. It's never over until the fat lady sings, right? Okay, we're not relegated yet. We're not out yet. We're not like nothing's done. Nothing's written in stone yet. With the manager situation at the moment, I don't know too much about like some of the subjects you've been talking about. The manager situation. What do you expect? What do you expect? This has been going on. This is the ENIC that sacked someone days before a cup final. This is the ENIC that didn't. They're worth billions. They're worth billions. I understand, like self-sustainable. They bought the club. And you know what they have? I feel like they don't get the kudos that they deserve from where they bought this club. And let's be honest, it's not just from the 25 million that they bought the club from Alan Sugar, and they've bought it from where it is for the financial worth of what it is today. We have gone. We've been in. Like, we were punching in the Champions League. That's where we all wanted to get, wasn't it? When we were young, watching Tottenham, right? Did we not want to see Champions League football? And we've seen that. Like we've been seeing things challenging for the league. We have been seeing that. But you know what? Other clubs like an Arsenal, like other teams. Chelsea, I can't really talk for them. Like, I don't really understand what the hell's going on there. But everyone's playing their own little game of how they're doing things. And Tottenham, we have not. They should have put their hands in their pocket. They should have looked at that investment, and they should have actually turned around and thought, do you know what? Being this self-sustainable club. The deals that Levy did with the financial side of things, which I think is people have to take their hat off to him, and people that don't, then they don't really understand how money works. They really don't. But there's no point being able to do these things if you're not going to back it up. And that was their opportunity. They've had so many opportunities to back it up, and they haven't. But the way that the fan base is. Do you know what? I wrote a poem the other day. Danny's seen it. I don't know if Dan E has seen it. That I put it in the Spurs talk show chat, and it was like where everyone turned up at the stadium the other day to cheer the bus on. I feel like we need like a bit of unity between people at the moment. Like we need this real sort of like coming together rather than this
How? How?
How
do we come together?
The problem is, Adam.
I wrote a lovely poem.
Adam, the problem is anyone can say, "Oh, we should be one big happy family," but the reality is that to make a happy family, you have to have unity at the top of the family, right? I.e., the husband and the wife, yeah, right, and everything delineates down. From there.
Yeah.
So if there's no unity in the boardroom, if there's no unity in the manager and the way that the club operates, what are the fans going to unite over? The reason why we're so fractured.
But if you think about it, I get what you're saying, and I agree with that. But then look at Real Madrid's never fallen off a cliff, have they? And let's be honest, look at the shit
Real
show
Madrid
at the top there.
The president, the director of football, and the manager. It's a very linear pathway down. The hierarchy is very linear. There's no complication.
Can we not use Real Madrid as the comparison to Tottenham?
I know, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
But we are nothing like Real Madrid.
What I would say to Adam, Adam, where was the togetherness inside the stadium when the fans left? Then where was the togetherness?
You mean last weekend?
Yeah.
They'd all just been outside preaching for like however long it was about we stick together, left, right, and centre, and everything else, and that. And we will support these players through thick and thin and all that. And then with 20 minutes to go, they fuck off.
It's because it was manufactured. It was fake.
Of course it was. I totally agree.
You're singing Kumbaya.
Yeah,
you're singing Kumbaya, which is what.
I've got no problem with that.
It's like telling
one at a time.
Take it away, Ellie. Kumbaya, Spurs.
Let us finish.
It's like telling everyone to go to church, but they're not teaching them why they're going to church, what the Bible is, what the gospel is, and stuff like that. It's like you're just turning up, and you're not going to get unity. You're not in that sense, are you? And that's what they asked the fans to do. Just go and support the club. Just go and what Stel says. What are they supporting? They all knew it was fake. They all knew we were we're a travesty. We're devastated. It was forced.
Adam,
hold on. Right.
All right.
Right. What's happened? Everyone, we've all thought a lot about this, but what I believe's happened is they've come in. ENIC have come in, and they've given the keys to Daniel Levy, right? Because they don't know anything about football. And he's learned on the job, basically. And he had people around him over the first decade to guide him and into the second decade to guide him. But slowly, he's been getting rid of the football people out of that club. And then ENIC, in their wisdom or lack of wisdom, got rid of the only guy that knew how he stitched all of this together. Right? And it's like literally just, taking the plug out of the bath.
And they've done it ruthlessly.
Yeah. And this is why this is why the bubble was literally burst, within 6 months, because through Levy's bad management and bad leadership, right, of him getting rid of everyone around Tottenham Hotspur who knew how things work, they've just carried it on, and they've got rid of that only guy that knew anything that was happening, and now they're screwed. Anyway, that's it. That's what I had to say.
I think most people can agree, though, that the club was safer in the Premier League under Daniel Levy. With who we've got it under control of now, and what I mean by safer, when did we get into this situation with Daniel Levy?
Well, no, I disagree, because when I said keep Ange and the whole flip-flop thing argument went on for 6 months, the constant stick I was bashed with was Ange nearly relegated us. Ange nearly relegated us. Now people want to say, well, hold on, he didn't nearly relegate us, but when I put that argument, it wasn't allowed.
No.
That's why I asked you, Dan.
The thing I always gave with you is I stick by my opinion on this one, yeah? I think there was the deal between Ange and Levy where they both agreed, do you know what? We ain't going to do nothing in the top 5, or we're going to be lucky if we even get in for Europa. Do you know what? We can get that Europa Cup, and it gets us Champions League. Fuck the league off and go for that. And Van der Ven even basically admitted it as well. Dan, the point that's what I believe happened, because there was no fight. There was no real problem on going down because the other 3 were that crap.
Can I chime in on that one?
If you let me finish.
Yeah, sorry.
In that aspect, I think that Levy.
That's not what any of you were saying last year. Nobody, including me. No one was saying that.
Last year, I said we weren't going to go down because the other 3 were that shit. And if you remember, in January, I said if we ain't careful, next season we're going to go, or the season after, we're going to go down.
Everyone was saying we were in a relegation battle last year. Lubo hasn't stopped talking about it.
No, I said last season that the bottom we're going to be close to it, but the bottom 3 are that bad. We ain't going down.
But I think
I said next 2 years.
I think the problem at the top it goes so much deeper than that, because if you think about it, right? So Daniel Levy's son, who is head of Travistock, who is like what would you call it, like an umbrella company over the companies. So he has got his son. Obviously, he knew that down the line with the Levy situation, obviously he owns, what is it, 27% of.
Have you gone? What's up in there?
He just dropped out.
My point is with Levy is I think Levy would have, we don't know, but I think Levy would have had Thomas Frank out because he'd have been able to see this one coming a bit better. My point is with Levy, we have never been at an end of a season that I remember since we had Levy, where we are basically 7 games to go and we're 1 point away from relegation with a very high chance of relegation. Now, I'm not saying he was great in many ways in that, but I think a fair few people might agree with me that the club was actually safer under Daniel Levy than what it has got now.
No,
I mean, would people? Well, would you rather?
No, it's pure revisionism. I completely disagree.
Would you rather stick with the people who's got there now, or would you rather go back to Levy?
Dan,
no, I would not go back to Levy at all.
1 minute.
That's not true, Dan. That's not true.
1 minute.
I wouldn't. I said it a million times. Levy's a fucking.
Danny, I'll bring you in. All
right, go on.
Last season, and for the first half of this season, everyone has been banging the Hurricane and Heung-min Son. They were bailing us out of trouble. And as soon as they left, which was under Levy, who failed to replace them, that's when we collapsed down the league table and finished 17th. That this isn't what I said. This is the argument everyone else said. That happened under Levy. This is the 2nd season ever that we've been without Kane and Son since the whole Poch era, right? It's no coincidence that those 2 have gone and we're in this mess and we didn't replace them. That was the argument everyone made.
Yeah.
So to defend Levy when he was there for most of that, Dan, that is the revisionism that basically you've just said, because that's not what everyone's been saying.
Yeah,
no,
we had Kane and flipping replaced him with Solanke and flipping Richie.
None of that. But again,
that was all under Levy.
Down to belief.
So Levy,
but I personally
Levy
believe Levy would have had at least another player bar Gallagher in January.
Also,
how poor it was. People have also admitted.
I don't think so. I don't believe
that they would rather go. Then you don't have to. But it's purely.
We went 2 windows down without signing a single player. What gives you evidence that he would have done that?
Dan, it's purely an opinion.
Don't shout because it's not because I don't mind you shouting because my ears can't take it.
It's Greek. What do you expect?
There's no wrong or right.
It's the mic
purely
volume.
Opinion. At the end of the day, Dan.
It's the mic volume.
At the end of the day, Dan, you cannot tell me I am wrong. I can't tell you you're wrong because it's purely opinionated at the end of the day. So we're both just going to have to deal with that.
And who hired?
But who would you rather have?
Daniel Levy hired
Levy.
Okay,
Daniel Levy, who would you rather have? Levy or the 2 pricks that we got in control now?
None of them.
Have one or the other.
Levy had to go down.
Can I just say, actually, I support Dan on that specific point.
Shit.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, I agree with you on
that specific point.
I'd pick Levy. If that was the choice,
that was the choice.
That's my point. We were safer under Levy than what.
None of us said.
Better.
None of us sang.
You sold out still.
Hold on, guys. None of us sang Levy out, ENIC out, right?
Right.
Right. at knowing that they were going to stick a Gooner in charge, right, as a replacement. That's a. I'm not sure I can swallow that one.
I was trying to lip read the fan that called him a fraud. And I came to the conclusion that he said, "Sorry, mate, I've got to get to the Arsenal match."
Danny, what are you going to say? Because you're going to explode. You're going to say something, Bob.
No, it's that time of the month for the ENIC. That's why he's always screaming and bothering everyone.
Thanks for your intellectual contribution, Dietrich.
Yeah, thank you, Dietrich, for being a certain word I won't say on here.
You legend.
Also,
Danny,
I'm
what
not.
were you going to say?
Dietrich is a goat fucker.
Oh, no. Also, I'm not thanking. Also, I'm not thanking Levy for making us sustainable and making us a rich club. Because where's that got us? It's got us to a relegation point.
Ali, to
I'm
be
not
fair,
thanking him for nothing.
no,
I'm
to
not
be
going to
fair,
thank him for his business acumen. It
No, I'll
hasn't
be-
benefited our club.
no, I'll
Where's
be
it
fair on one
benefited our
thing.
club?
No, I'll be
It's
fair
true.
on one
Gone
thing.
backwards.
No, as much as I don't like Levy, there's one thing I'll be fair to him. As much as we said Levy out, ENIC out, like all this stuff, I don't think he was the problem. He was part of the problem, not the only thing. And this
Yeah.
is why we finally realized after he's gone that he wasn't the only problem at this club.
No, but
Nobody
Yeah,
said he was the only problem.
that's why.
Nobody's ever said
was
that.
ENIC out, Levy out. The
Yeah,
protest
always.
was
No.
ENIC out,
It's
Levy
all
out.
of them
But
out.
you see, ever since we got Levy out, have you heard any ENIC out protest? No.
And this
People
is
don't know
why.
what to
Well,
blame
This
him
is
for.
why.
There you go. So everyone thought Levy was
Listen,
the problem.
I'm gonna stand by what I've always said, right? I still believe, regardless of the situation we're in right now, Levy had to go, and I'd still choose Vinay and Lange because we needed to get Levy out this football club once and for all, right? This is a process. This is how it works. It doesn't change overnight, right? And for me, if we're all talking about we all wanted
So
Levy
they
out,
shouldn't have tried to change it overnight.
yeah, but this is the whole point, Dan. The whole point is not to do with Levy going, right? He had to go. The whole point was when you're a business, £1 billion enterprise, right? You don't sack the main guy who's got his hands tied into every single pie there is possible, right? That's running the everything about this football club, right? You do a handover. That's why when you go for a job, you see the higher end people in CEO positions. It's like a 6-month, 3-month transition period, right? You don't just sack him on the spot, right? Because you're asking for trouble, right? That was the problem with Lange and Vinay and the board, right? That's their incompetence. Nothing to do with Levy being here or not. Levy had to go. And if you're asking me who would I have chosen, just because hindsight is a beautiful thing, I still would have chosen Vinay and Lange purely because I did not want Levy at this football club. He was part of the reason and the biggest reason why this football club and this culture have been set like this for so many years. He has built this environment. Because Levy was the guy sitting in the canteen and saying, "I'm your mate, Danny Rose. I'm your mate, Eric Dyer. Come to me if you've got a problem." That's Daniel Levy. Nothing to do with Joe Lewis.
The other side, Levy was not the owner of the club, and Levy had.
It doesn't matter. The owners were not involved, Dan, on the day-to-day business.
Yes, they were.
They were not involved.
Yes,
No, they weren't.
no,
they weren't. No, they weren't.
He's more than a quarter owner.
Guys, everyone's shouting, right? No one can hear. Just like one at a time.
Friedel was on
Yes,
the radio channel. What's it? Sports. Brad Friedel went on there. Talk Sport. That's the one. Brad Friedel blatantly went on there.
Pro Levy,
said
though,
what
Brad
it was
Friedel.
like.
He's always been pro Levy.
But I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry. I'm going to take someone who's worked at the club's opinions and what goes on behind the
He
walls.
was not
Okay,
a work.
he
Was a footballer. He wasn't
He was just a fringe player. He wasn't even our main goalkeeper.
Guys, one second. Dan's right. He worked at the club, but so did Mourinho and Conte. So why don't we listen to what they said about the
And so did Ledley King, and they're still there. They talk about the club and the clubs are.
And Ramon Vega hasn't got a good word for him.
And Conte
Ramon
said
Vega
the club is the problem.
I love him.
The problem starts at
Listen
the
to
very
what Michael
top, and it's
Dawson
the
and
owners.
Ledley King say, Dan, about Spurs.
If Levy was only given a certain amount of money to spend and had to also make his own money to spend, that's because of the owners. Now, Levy screwed up in so many
the problem
ways.
is you're forgetting
but I
something,
think a
Dan.
few people can't hack it.
You're forgetting something.
Isn't there
You're
anymore,
forgetting
yeah?
something. You're forgetting
The
a big
biggest
thing.
problem
Let him
here
finish, Danny. Let him
is
finish.
the owners. The biggest problem here is ENIC. And whether Levy went or not, I think most of us realised it's pretty much irrelevant, really, whether Levy stayed or go.
But he
pretty
owns
much
30%
irrelevant
of
whatever
ENIC,
happens.
I was
I
just
know,
about
but
to
at
say
the
that.
end of the day,
ENIC.
at the end of the day,
It's in
it's
his
only
best interest, Dan.
30%. It's
It's in
only
his best
30%.
interest.
It's only 30%, and if they tell him to shut up, he basically has
Yeah, but
to.
Dan, that's
because
not
they're
the
the
point.
majority owners.
That's you're dismissing the fact that the guy
I'm
earns
not dismissing
30%.
nothing.
You are, because
I'm not-
the guy earns
No.
let me say my piece now. Right? Let me say my piece. The
Well,
guy
you already
owns,
interrupted while I was in the middle of mine.
yeah, but I stopped, so I let you finish. So let me say my piece now.
Hey, Manbon,
it.
calm down, Manbon.
Shut up, Dietrich. I'm talking now. Right.
All right, come on, man.
So-
Let's talk people.
30% of the football club is owned by Daniel Levy, right?
Mhm.
It's in his best interest, Dan, to make the club as profitable and as valuable as possible. Because it doesn't matter if he gets forced out, he still has that percentage in the business of ENIC, right? So regardless of what happens to him, if the club is sold, the more money the club is worth, the more valuable it is, the more money he's gonna make if the club is sold. So
That's
he's
not what
doing,
I'm saying, Dan.
yeah, but you're ignoring
totally
that. You're ignoring
No,
that.
I'm not ignoring nothing.
No,
I'm
but
not
that-
You
ignoring
are.
nothing.
point
I'm
that I
turning
was
round
trying
and
to
saying,
make.
no, I'm turning
That was
round and
the-
saying, if Joe Lewis turned round and said, there you go, Levy, right, you've got 500 million to spend on players this summer, go and do it. Levy wouldn't have sat there and said, oh, no, I'm not doing that
Dan?
because I own
No,
30%.
that
He
was
would have
the
gone and
point
done
that
it
I
because
was
it ain't
trying
his
to
bloody
make.
money.
That was the point I was
He could
trying to
only
make. It's
spend
not-
what
he
was given
doesn't-
to him by the owners.
But
There
look
was
No,
how
but
he
a
Dan,
spent
big
it,
problem.
Dan, no,
He doesn't
Dan.
own that much of the club.
No,
He doesn't-
listen,
he
Can
owns
can I
that
just say
much
one more
of
point?
ENIC.
Can I just say one point, Adam, and then I'll let you speak, right? The one thing as well, Dan, is you're forgetting that the money that ENIC never invested a lot of money into Tottenham, right? You can go back and see how much they invested over 25 years on a yearly basis. It was not a lot, right? Hardly anything.
150 million. That's
Over
it.
25 years, right? So the money that was made by Spurs, by what they generated, Levy had the control to do what he pleased with that money, right? So if Levy decided that we want to spend less money on transfers and wages so that we can build a hotel and we can build this, then that's Levy and ENIC's decision, right? Because
ENIC.
if they do that, they are making more money for themselves for
That's
the
it.
other things that they want to use the money
Yep.
for, which is the outside of football investments.
But
So
who's the
you
one who
have to
makes the
understand
final
that, Dan.
decision? Who's
Well,
the actual owners of the
majority
club that makes the
shareholder.
final
The majority
decision? It is the
shareholder will.
billionaires.
That was the point
Joe
I
Lewis.
was trying to make. That was the point that
Go on,
I
Adam,
was
I'm gonna
trying to
mute.
make. That Levy owns 27% of ENIC.
Something like
they
that,
own
innit?
86% of the club, right? So what you have to put into the whole situation is that the Lewis family, they have the ultimate say on ENIC, and then they have the ultimate say on the club, right? So when Levy, don't forget, Levy was
That's why Levy got
employed
booted.
as a figurehead. He was employed as a figurehead, and he was taken away. This is the whole point of what I was trying to say. But then ENIC come under the umbrella of Travistock, and Travistock is a multiple company organization which Daniel Levy's son is a big top dog in that situation. This is why this is the whole point of where I was getting to with my point before someone fucking rung me. Sorry about that. Right? Is that this goes so deep. It goes so deep, and this is why when we go back to where you've said still about whether it be Stelegation, whether it be however we want this club sold, I think that there is such, obviously the way that Daniel Levy was ripped out, the way he was marched out. I mean, if that's true, I believe it, right? I believe that because of him trying to protect himself, like beneath the grounds of where he stood on ENIC and where he was as a figurehead in the club, I believe that is so toxic. Like I said, rots from the head down. there is so much more to this that we do not know. We don't know how deep this goes. And that's why now we're sitting here and we're not even knowing who's making any decisions about anything, right? This is such a complex, when it comes into sort of these situations, I'm telling you now, Levy's lawyered up to fuck, man. He is lawyered up to fuck. The Joe Lewis, look at the fucking situation of what he did inside trading, of where he let fucking pilots and fucking women that he was fucking know about that sort of shit. People that say that the stock exchange, you can't predict it, you fucking can. People that know shit, they know shit. And I'm telling you now, there is so much more to this that we will probably never ever know. We'll never know.
Yes, yes, we do. Thanks to Levy, we never got relegated, and now we're about to.
No. I believe. I would like to believe. Yeah, I think that if Levy was still at the helm, yeah.
Do you think we'd be in this
I don't believe
situation
we
right
would
now?
be in the shit state we are.
You know
but
what I think? I
we
think
were still going
right,
down anyway. We were still getting in a bad situation anyway.
Do you know
But do you
what I
think we'd
think?
be in this situation where we are literally a point away from going down and probably going down? Do you think he would have actually reacted in January? Or
on Tottenham away 3 years ago,
yeah.
myself, Iggy, Maz, Mari, and JP said, if these owners carry on like this, they're one day going to relegate us. We did a show on this. We did a show on this, and nobody paid any attention. No one gave us the time of day for what we were saying. They called us toxic and divisive for what we were saying. I don't think we thought it would happen 3 years later, maybe 6, 7. So to answer your question, we didn't think this would happen this year, but we did say this would happen with ENIC. We called this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's just what it is at the moment, because the thing is that we're talking about things like the owners and all that, Travistock and all that. And like I said before to somebody when I was listening to the finance guy waffling on TalkSport, you're telling me something that I don't really need to know, because if you're telling me something I need to know, give me the job. Give me the job.
No, so then he can get to know.
Give me the money. Give me the job, mate. Because then I can get paid. I can get paid. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I'm not getting the job. I'm not getting the job. So why do I need to know? All I want to know is the football, and the football is going down in the Championship, and maybe
but
even
that's because
into League One.
This club has been used. It's gone from growing a club to something, and then suddenly the business side not suddenly, it was probably always the intentions was there of it being a complete business strategy. And
Adam,
I think been so many complications behind the scenes.
Adam, I think you're right. See what I believe Levy and ENIC, and maybe Levy understood this a little bit more than the Lewis family, is how when he was signing all of these deals and putting all of these agreements in place, how integral it was to be in Europe, to be challenging, to prop all of these relationships up, right? And when things started to go bad, right, under Ange, thankfully for Levy and the investors and the sponsors and the contract agreements, etc., winning that Europa, getting us into the Champions League, sort of staved off the Wolves basically. But obviously, and you alluded to this, that this is such a complicated ownership model, or not complicated, very messy ownership model, right? And there's a lot of politics happening within that power base, that when they removed him out of the club, it's all collapsed, because the football. Daniel Levy knew how integral the football side of things was to those relationships. He didn't care about winning things. He just knew we had to be up there for these contracts to work. I don't think the Lewis family realized this, or Charrington or whatever. I thought they came in as corporate business people and thought, I know how to run a company. This is what we do. But football isn't like necessarily like running any other company. Obviously, there's massive parallels. Of course, there is, right, in the corporate world. But you still have to know about the product. You have to know. You have to have football people making footballing decisions. You have to have scouts identifying and buying good players, good managers, good training departments and physios, and all of the ingredients that go into making a club successful. I don't think they had any clue about that stuff.
No,
I think they thought we'll just remove him and everything will just carry on.
Right. Can I say something on this,
Agree,
please?
Maz.
Because
I
I've
agree
been
completely.
waiting. Can I say something? Right. Have you noticed, right, that our great owner Joe Lewis, the only time that he puts his kids in charge is where down the bottom, 18th, right, and there's a threat of relegation. There was a threat at some point, but we climbed out of it because we were 13 points clear. That's the only reason that Joe Lewis got interested. Because when has Joe Lewis been interested in football? He's on a yacht. He loves his art. He loves this, that, and the other. He loves his women. He's never been interested in Tottenham Hotspur. Have you ever seen him at Tottenham Hotspur, Gran? No. Right?
But I'll be honest, Ellie.
Daniel
I'll be
Levy
honest,
was
Ellie.
running the whole shebang.
If I gave someone, let's be honest, if you go by percentages, if someone's in charge of £15 million of your investment, and then 20 years later it's potentially worth £2.5 billion, and you've put someone in charge to do that, and you haven't had to fucking get involved at all. I mean, would you be disappointed of what they've done for you?
No, I'm not saying he's disappointed. I'm just saying that
He's a
Joe
businessman.
Lewis is
trading
interested
with.
in the money part of things. Soon as the money can be taken away, then he puts his kids down there. There's
Well,
no
no, I think he got
coincidence
out
that
because of
Vivian Lewis has been
That wasn't why
appointed
he
on
got
the
out.
board.
No,
That
he
It's
wasn't
got
no
why he
out
got out.
because he
coincidence.
was incriminated for exposing stuff.
Yeah, but he's never been in. What are you on
He
about?
started off
When's Joe Lewis been in our
as
club?
someone that
He's sitting
traded
on
on
his yacht.
currencies.
That's not what
He's-
people are talking about there, really.
No, but
he
I'm
started
just
off with.
saying, I'm
He
making a
started off.
point that he's interested in money, and he's
Mm-hmm.
seen that we're down the bottom. He see we made Champions League. Oh, that's really great because we're going to make money. Now he sees we're down the bottom, and lo and behold, his kids get involved more and more. He's put Vivian there. He's put Charlie there. Right, they're there now.
These are the same kids that everyone told me they love the club. They hate Levy. The sooner they get in, this is the same thing I heard. And I remember when people were saying this, I said, how do you know that?
Are you listening?
Who's told you about these kids?
One,
Where are you
please?
getting this from? Anyway, let's
I
bring
know
Alex
Steve
in. Alex,
Perriman don't like them.
Big up, Alex.
Yes, what's going on, boys? Everyone good?
Yeah, good.
good,
Sounds
Alex. How you doing,
different,
bro?
mate.
You all right?
I'm good,
Yeah,
Alex.
I'm good, mate. Just been listening to what everyone's saying, and yeah, it's funny to hear some things, and I'm probably on the Stelegation train as well now. You know, I want this club to go down now. It's gotten to the
Another
point.
member. Are
It's
you
gotten to that
charging for
point now.
membership still? You make a packet.
That's a
It's
free
gotten to
squad.
that
It's a
point
free
now.
squad.
It's gotten to that. It's gotten to that point now where I want them to go down. Like, they fucking deserve it. They deserve all of it. They deserve everything that's coming to them. And
Also,
you know,
Alex,
there's
as
no
well, you're a home and away fan as well, so you go to all the games.
I am, but I'm that hurt. I've been that hurt and knocked down so much that I don't even want to see this club in the Premier League anymore. I want them to go down. I want ENIC to get hurt because, yeah, of course, I'll be upset that my club will go down and I'd rather them stay up. But in the long run, you know, it's going to hurt ENIC more than me. You know, it don't hurt my pockets. If anything, it'll be better for me financially. You know, tickets
But
will
in
be
the
cheaper.
same
Food and
sentence,
drink will
you've
be
just
cheaper.
said you want us to stay up and you want us to go down.
No, personally, yeah, I've messed my words up a little bit there, but really,
I know what you're saying, Alex. I know what you're saying.
You know what I want to say. What I really want is I
You
want ENIC to get hurt the
the
most.
ownership to get relegated, yeah?
Yeah, because they fucking deserve it the most. They've ruined this club for so many fucking years. That we're in this mess because of them, not because of anyone else. And this is the only way that they will fucking wake up and smell the coffee. That, you know, it's gonna knock a lot of sense into them. We've had this for a very, very long
honest,
time.
Right? If we stay up, right? Just say we stay up, right? just say they're going to bring Poch in the summer, right? They'll bring Poch in, and it will be to please a section of the fan base.
I don't think they're going to bring in Poch. I don't
If
think
we
they're
go
bringing
down,
Poch,
I don't
mate.
think we'll get Poch.
I don't either.
I don't think we'll get him.
I don't think they're bringing in Poch in
I
the
think
summer.
it's a
even
done
if we
deal
stay
if we
up.
stay up.
Not
I think
at
it's
all.
a done deal. I think it's a
Can
done deal.
I still don't
Can I
think
just
so.
say this about Poch?
Whatever the fans want, they've done what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah, they do the opposite.
Can I just say what's going to happen with Poch? Yeah,
They're
right.
not
If
gonna
we
do
get
what we
Poch in, and by the way, yeah, I really want to know about this Joe Lewis as a player, Bob, because he's going to save us from relegation. I really need him in the squad, by the way, and Vivian and the kids as well to play for our football club, because we do need some midfielders as well. You know what I mean? You know, so I think we really do need those players in our squad. By the way, the amount of times that we speak about Joe Lewis, I thought he's a player. But anyway, moving on. My point is though, yeah, is that no, Poch ain't working, mate. Poch ain't working with what's going on at the moment.
Did you guys see how Poch got absolutely annihilated by Belgium? 5-2.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't see it because I'm not really that interested.
Just
but that
enjoy
doesn't
it.
mean that's got no
He
context.
No. It does mean that Poch is.
my
He
point
is with
is-
America. Come on.
Yeah, but-
No, it
Can
doesn't.
I just say, if Poch comes back, look at the team that Poch had when he first came in. He had
Much
some
better.
top players
Yeah, he
out
did,
of this
he did.
squad. Look at the
Yep.
players we got now. You think he's getting a tune out of any of them?
Can I just
Agree,
Alex?
None.
I love you, mate.
It'll be
yeah?
worse.
Can I just correct you?
Got rid of 12 players at the end of his first season.
Can I just correct people on this
No, but
right now?
he's saying,
Because-
look at who he had
He
in
didn't
the
have
squad
that many
already.
good players.
Can I just correct
Yeah, he
people
did.
on
He
this?
inherited a great
He
squad
had
when he came
okay
in.
players.
No, Ellie, he
Yeah.
had seven of our first 11 who became our best 11 were already at the club.
Yeah,
7 of them.
Exactly. But
They
let's
weren't
correct this.
good until
Let's
he came.
correct this.
It doesn't
That
matter
means
still.
four
They were
words.
already there.
So a
Yeah,
third
but he
word
developed
there.
them into good players.
Yeah, but they were
Exactly.
He
already
did
there.
develop them,
We
he
have to
developed
bring
them.
in players
Yeah,
to
but they
develop.
weren't the players.
They
He
were
made
already
them
good
into those
players.
Yeah,
players.
but
you
Danny,
didn't know they were good until he developed them.
Boy,
Exactly.
he had one of the best
Yeah, I
midfielders in
agree
the
with you
league.
still on
Toby
that.
was good. We knew
Yeah,
Jan was
but
good. We knew Kane
Dembele
was good.
was no, because this is where I don't like it, yeah, because this is what Savas said earlier today, and I don't agree with him. He knows this as well, right? It's not right. Dembele, when he came into the midfielder at Tottenham, he was a left midfielder, right? Who was arguing with Adebayor every single bloody minute of the day.
Yeah, he played on
the
the
first
left, didn't he?
season,
Yeah, you're right.
right?
Yeah, but don't
Right.
forget
Walker-
Dembele. How much did we pay
Walker-
for him?
Walker,
15 million pounds.
Walker
Walker-
wasn't as good.
Exactly. Why
No.
weren't all the
Walker
big
could
Let
be
Arabs?
Alex finish his point. Who cares about
Yeah,
how
let him
much he
finish.
costs?
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Sorry.
Walker was an up and down right back. Yeah, Danny Rose came from on loan, and everyone was trying to sell him. Right, Vertonghen was up and down as well.
No, he wasn't.
He was up and down.
No,
was up
he
and down.
wasn't.
He wasn't the same. Right, Harry Kane.
He was our main left centre back, Alex. Though he was our main.
Stop
left
it,
centre back.
Alex. Alex, stop it, man.
You get my point is though. No one thought that they were going to be great. Let's just be honest here, right? Harry Kane was getting loaned left, right, and centre. Right, only got in because Soldado and bloody Adebayo are useless. Right, and Dele Alli. No one was telling me that Dele Alli was going to be a superstar at Tottenham. Nobody's telling me that.
Yeah, but who scouted him? It wasn't. It's not like it was Poch.
Yeah, but my point is though.
How do you know?
That was Paul Mitchell who
Poch
scouted him.
made that team, and people completely forget this point as well about Poch. Right, we played at Wembley for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
I was
Yeah,
going
but Alex,
there,
that's
man.
irrelevant, man.
No, it's not irrelevant. It's
It
not
is.
irrelevant.
Because
No,
you're
it's not
talking
irrelevant.
about two different conflicting points.
No, but
You're talking about the time in Wembley and then the time when he first came to Spurs. It's two different scenarios.
But I'm saying to you that Poch did a lot with that squad, right?
Yeah,
That's what
of
I'm trying
course
to
he
say.
did, but he
We've
still
always-
had the core there already.
Yeah,
What
but-
Alex was trying to say, what Alex was trying to say was that Pochettino didn't have to go and buy players to then build up. He already had the core of the squad there. So it doesn't matter whether they were good or not.
You're missing
The
Alex.
players were already there.
You're missing my point, Danny. You're missing my point.
You're missing box
You're missing my
office's
point
point.
completely.
I understand Alex's point.
The only reason you talk about that core is because he developed them into what they became.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
That's
No,
what
we're
he's
not
saying.
stupid.
No,
But they were already at
But
the
Danny, that's his
football club.
argument, though. That's his argument.
No, but
That's his...
Alex Kiriaku's argument is that he's not going to. If Poch goes in now, yeah, look at the players he's got there. Who is he going to develop in that squad?
Fine, but hold on.
Who?
Conor Gallagher was excellent.
Yeah, he's not going to be Musa Dembele, is he?
Yeah, but on that point,
What do you mean they got to 2 cup finals with Poch?
Hold on, guys. Just
Gallagher
hold on.
midfield.
Hold on. On that point,
What are we doing?
They did.
no, but Dan,
Gallagher, but they did.
I don't understand this pushback against, let's say, Pochettino coming in. Name me one manager in world football that's going to come into Tottenham Hotspur, right, and do well.
Hey, I've already put my stance.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit who comes in.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Right? Exactly. So what's the point in pushing back against Pochettino?
Mate,
we're acting
I'm not
any
pushing
other
back. Where have I pushed back?
Better.
What have I pushed back on? I've said I didn't. I've been saying for months I couldn't care less who the Spurs manager is. I've been saying this for a long time.
But the only reason, right, one of the reasons that fans want Poch back, and I agree with them for this, is he has a history with the club. We need people that understand what Tottenham is, right? Because we haven't had that since Redknapp, right? And even before him, maybe Joel understood what Tottenham was.
Joel, yeah.
Right.
Speaking of Redknapp,
the reason why we need
I saw
these
Jamie
figures in,
Redknapp today.
Yeah.
At the airport.
The reason why we need these people in, it's not because
I
they're
wish I
going to
said to
come
him,
in.
we need your dad to come in.
Yeah. It's not because they're going to come in and all of a sudden we're going to go to a mid-table club or even a top six or anything like that. It's not. It's to pick us up and rebuild us, rebuild the fan base, rebuild the identity of Tottenham Hotspur, because we need Tottenham people in Spurs. Because what we are now is the whole soul of Tottenham Hotspur is gone, because there's no one left there in Spurs that understand the history or anything about us.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. And there is a squad there for him to work with. There is a squad there for him to work with. It's just that they've been put in. Look at, like, for example, Bergval, Gray, players like that. They should have been learning from players above them. They haven't been guided the way that Poch guided youngsters when we had.
Adam, can I ask you a question? What makes you like? Well, no. What do you like about Poch? Out of curiosity, I'm just curious. What do you like about him?
What do I like
He
about
just brought
Poch?
the fans together.
Yeah, about Poch.
He was attacking football. He was playing attacking football, and he brought the fans together.
So, for example, I feel like tone is a big thing when you talk to people, right? Tone is a big thing, right? And you know what, Frank? Like, let's be honest. The way that he come in and the way that he spoke, there wasn't. It was like so fucking laid back. He was horizontal, mate. Right?
Dry as toast.
Something about Poch. Something about Poch is that he connected the dots. He really did. He had a connection with the fans. He had a connection with the club. He was part of the project of us building that stadium. Okay, I do not believe that he was supported. I don't know the ins and outs of who we bought in, because we went 2.5 windows or whatever it was, and we bought more in. That was the only signing we bought in 1 January, right? And do you know what? You look at like the Bergvals, the players that we've got there, we've got a solid back two that we like to. Actually, we've got Danso as well, right? I think we've got probably, because don't forget Alderweireld, he wasn't there when Poch first came in, I don't believe, right? And don't forget Atletico Madrid let him go. He was on loan, wasn't he, to Southampton? And we sort of like we jumped on that, didn't we? Right? So, you know. And look how that worked out. I feel like someone like a Poch,
we had a good director of football in Paul Mitchell, though. Adam.
Yeah, but people.
Yeah, no, but okay, I'm talking
Adam,
about what we've got in the club
disagree.
now.
Adam, can I ask
now? Right?
Sorry,
can I ask
Adam,
a question?
I disagree. I don't think we've got a solid back two. Back two are not solid.
We haven't.
They've
Maybe
leaked goals after goals after goals.
Don't forget
and Romero gets sent off. twice this season.
Listen,
He's got one yellow card away from being suspended again.
Listen,
Can I just ask a question?
I think the back four isn't too far off, if I'm honest with you, with a good coach and Paulinho there. I think the midfield, you just need one proper...
But you cannot play...
1 minute D-tricks. You need one proper playmaker, and then you've got Xavi Simons that he can develop. I think there's a nucleus that can be built. Our problem is the entire front line is absolute dog shit. All of them.
Yes, it is 100%. I agree with what you just said.
Only Kudus has got anything about the rest are awful.
Still, but don't you think our defence is awful?
No, if we're being honest...
our defence is awful as well. They can't play out the back.
No, if we're being honest...
Against Arsenal, they couldn't make 3 passes.
The same defence finished 5th under Ange, who didn't defend. So a manager that can actually coach defending can get something out of them. Can we do better? Of course we can. But for me, if a coach came in, his biggest problem is the entire attack is shocking. It's fucking awful. None of them score. Look at our goal this year.
Still, it wasn't the same attack.
Romero. All our goals come from midfielders.
It wasn't the same defence, though, still. They were injured for a lot. A lot of it, Romero and Van de Ven were missing.
Can I make a point, though, Ellie?
As soon as we stopped playing Bentancur and Paulinho in the middle to basically cover them 2 defenders, it fell to shit. Let's just be honest. Romero is one of the most overrated players in football.
Even Paulinho.
Van de Ven is starting to... Romero isn't just that good. He's just
Paulinho is mad overrated.
In some respect, Dan, I agree with you.
And
Because,
Van de Ven is starting to show that maybe he ain't as good as he was.
Paulinho is actually almost overrated.
About Romero, do you know what?
He's not. Paulinho should be starting every single game.
And a Barcelona are not going to come in with a 70-80 million bid for Romero when he plays half of the fucking games of the season. He's already on 200 grand a week, so he's going to be on. It's going to be a pay rise to £250,000 a week. A guy that plays half of the games of the season, and let's be honest. He playing for his country is probably more paramount than it is playing for his fucking club. So, you know, I can't see that happening.
Can we just be honest?
If you're Pochettino, right, and you come into this team, you look at the 2 centre backs. You've just got to coach them properly. Then you've got, and don't forget, Romero, Poch, both RGs. There's something that can happen psychologically.
But they didn't have we didn't have a dance then as well.
Adam, hold on 1 second. Then you've got Porro and Spence, who we know Porro is better going forward than when he's defending, and we know Spence, when he was at Forest, he's shown he can get forward. He's shown glimpses of it. This is Walker and Rose weren't great until Poch came in. Let's see what Poch does with them. Then in midfield, you've got Paulinho as your 6, Gallagher, Xavi Simons. Signed 1 decent playmaker, and you know what? The nucleus is there as a starting point. But as soon as you get to that front 3, we're fucked.
Can we? No, stop. You're not telling the full story, because if you look at Poch, the year we succeeded, like at Spurs, he had Wanyama, Dembele, Eriksen. At Chelsea, he had Enzo, he had who else? Palmer, and he had the other guy, Caicedo.
Poch didn't have those players.
But if you look,
he didn't have those players. When he
I know, wait.
6.
But if you look at the team, if we look at the team right now, we have people focus on the defense. I don't think the defense is the issue. I believe it's the midfield. Paulinho would not succeed under Poch. If we're being fair, he's not succeeding. He's not good on the ball, and he's not progressive like the others. Gallagher.
That's not his job, Deirdre.
It doesn't matter.
His job is to break up play and give it.
I don't care.
If you don't get that, you don't get football.
No, your job. You're defensive mid.
But he's fantastic, Paulinho.
No, wait.
What his job is to do is to win the ball and to give it.
It doesn't.
That's what he does. Exactly what he does.
But once again, people forget that this is 2020. This is 2026. It's like before
what's that got to do with the price of fish?
I didn't even finish talking. It's like people criticizing the goalkeeper. Oh, the goalkeeper has to be better. Not only shot stopper, but good on the ball. Midfielders right now, defensive midfielders, it's more than breaking up play. You have to be good on the ball. This is what every team.
Rubbish.
No, this is not rubbish. No, it's not.
Rubbish.
Name me one. Wait.
No.
Name me one team that has won the league with a defensive midfielder that was not good on the ball.
Dietrich, Poch isn't going to come in and win the league in his first season, bro.
I don't care. So yeah, fix the biggest issue.
You should care
He's
because then your
expecting
expectations
Paulinho
are
to be like
unrealistic.
Beckenbauer.
No, I'm expecting the basics of a midfielder. We don't have that. We don't have midfielders
But you never
good.
said basics of a midfielder. You said winning a league.
No, I'm saying like if you look at the teams that Poch succeeded, he always had an elite midfielders.
Poch never
we
won
don't
a
have
league.
it.
Poch never won a league, so don't talk about winning leagues. Don't talk about
I'm saying
winning leagues in
okay,
that
Poch
place.
succeeded. Forget about winning leagues. He succeeded with teams that had good midfielders, and we don't have that.
Okay, but in his first
Okay,
season,
let me
he
ask
didn't
this
have
question.
Wanyama.
When
One
Poch
minute.
was manager,
Season, he
when
didn't
did
have-
Dele
He
Alli?
didn't have Wanyama. Adam, 1 second.
He had
In his
Dembele
first
and
season-
Eriksson.
Listen to me. You mentioned Wanyama. He didn't have Wanyama in his first season, and we finished top 6.
He didn't have
Okay,
Dele.
but he still had Dembele, one of the best midfielders.
Okay, but Dembele didn't make the whole team.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he
No,
did.
No, he
Yes, he
didn't.
did.
It was a very
Yes,
good
he did
Don't be so
still.
He was a
silly.
brilliant
Mate,
Yes, he
footballer.
did.
Listen,
Dembele, whenever
listen,
Dembele
Dembele,
didn't play,
he
we
carried
couldn't
our
control a
midfield, man.
midfield. We
With
couldn't
the-
control a midfield whenever he didn't play. We were
Yeah, why
rubbish.
didn't Arsenal win anything the first 2 years they had Declan Rice?
Because Declan Rice is not Dembele.
Yeah, he's
Because
not
it's a team
Dembele.
game.
Dembele's level's
Declan Rice
better than
scores a lot
Rice.
more
Of course
goals
it
than
is.
Dembele.
No,
Scores a
but
lot
he's
more
not.
goals than
But he
Dembele.
doesn't control
you-
games
But
like
Dembele was
Dembele.
that good. He
Bro.
didn't need to score goals. He didn't
There
need
you
to
go.
score
This is-
goals.
so
already.
No,
you're
he
saying
didn't.
the only reason Poch done well is because we had Dembele. That's it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no,
It was
but what-
hard.
So
But-
why
but-
do we
but-
get,
but-
why do we
Dembele
get to a
team.
Champions League final?
No,
So
but-
why do we get to a Champions League final without Dembele?
Thanks to Lucas
No, but-
Moura
yeah,
and
but still, what
and
did-
the
what did-
Exactly.
what did Poch
Exactly.
say about
Exactly.
Dembele?
It's a team game, Dietrich.
Dele
No,
Alli,
but he-
Lucas
Poch
Moura,
said-
was
Ericsson.
Poch said,
just
"I
answered
wish
your own
I'd had
question.
Dembele
No, I'm saying
younger."
like this
I
is
can't
He said
hear.
that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Poch said, "I wish I had Dembele when he was younger." He said that. He admitted that. So
Because he's a
if
top
that's the
player.
case,
He's brilliant.
How old was he
then
when we got him?
why can't a Bergvall? Why can't a Gray? Why can't
Oh,
one
why
of
are
these
we
players
doing
be
this?
developed?
They cannot be developed to those
No,
levels. Come on,
they
come on,
haven't.
Adam.
They haven't got. They haven't got what Dembele
Oh, I
had,
love Alex, man.
especially
Because he's
Bergvall.
shit.
No way.
No, but this is
They're
where
different players.
no, but this is where
They're
people
not
want to
the
No,
stay.
no, but
Dembele.
you know what I'm saying.
No, but Adam, where I'm trying to say
No,
is
I
that
don't know what you're
instead of
saying.
Yeah.
instead of focusing on Paulinhas, we need on the defense. We need to focus on the Paulinhas, the SARS, the Grays. We need better than that.
Yeah.
Dietrich,
That's all I
no
said.
shit. No shit.
No, but you
That's
guys say
why-
but you guys say, oh, with this team, with Paulinho,
No, I never said that. You,
Gallagher
didn't
and
listen to-
Xavi
no,
Simmons.
No, you didn't listen to what I said. I
They're
said,
good players, man.
No, they're not.
I
They are.
said, no, Dietrich, see, you didn't listen to
Who
what I
are good
said,
players?
and it's just gone in one ear out of the other. I said, he's got the nucleus of a team, but we still need that playmaker in the middle. I said, we still need to
Yeah.
sign that player. And I also, and then on top
Need
of that,
more
I
than
said,
that.
the entire front line needs to go. They're shocking.
It does.
They're
The whole
awful.
front line needs to go.
Yeah,
And the-
We've
they're
got the
rubbish.
worst front line in the Premier League. They're,
Well,
It's
they
true.
don't need
It's
to go because we're
awful.
going to be in the
Rubbish.
Championship, and they're a Championship
the
front
hype,
line.
the hype on Tell is ridiculous. Odegaard's done nothing at this club. Richarlison is the most bang average striker we've ever seen.
Paulinho has done
Solanke
nothing at this club.
Scores 2 or 3 games in a row, then goes missing for the next 5.
Still, do you remember when you said the
Mawani
players
has
should be doing better
He
than what
scored
they're
5
capable of?
goals.
No, but Danny,
If you
the
say he
team
did
in the
nothing,
middle
he
should
scored
be.
5
The
goals.
team in the middle should be. But up front, we are awful. We are shocking up front.
Midfield, we're shocking too.
Dembele was
I blame-
25 when he joined Spurs, by the way.
I blame.
He was
I
only
blame
25
Archie
years
Gray-
old.
I blame Archie
I
Gray
didn't know
we're in
that.
the
I didn't know
relegation
that,
zone.
Ellie.
Yeah, he was
I blame-
25.
When you continue
Well,
to
recently,
drop,
Alex,
the only
Gray's been
number
one of our
10
better
you've
players.
got,
25.
when you continue
No.
to drop the only number 10 you've got in the club,
Sorry,
when you
Alex,
don't
I
create
can't agree with
anything,
that.
that kind of has an impact as well.
Yeah, he was good against Madrid.
Oh,
And then he gets dropped. And everyone's like, oh, the
off it,
midfield
Alex.
shit. Well, don't drop.
I'm not
Don't
a
Is
drop
big
there
the
any
only
more
number 10 you've
conversations
got.
going on? I'm really confused.
What is it about Xavi that players
Yeah,
that
sorry, my bad.
managers don't like?
Because he's crap, that's why.
He's not craps.
Or maybe the managers are
Don't be
shit.
silly.
Dietrich. Maybe the
Or
manager.
maybe,
You know
or
what,
maybe,
there's
or maybe he
aspects-
just wasn't that good. Maybe he just wasn't
There's
that good. It was
aspects-
all
yeah,
of a
just
there's
lie.
like
aspects-
Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank won
There's
nothing in his
aspects to
entire
Chavi's
life.
game which is
Do
really
you know what? I
good.
don't even
But
think the
then,
club
do you know
approached
what?
poaching some,
There's been so
Yeah,
many
I agree
times
with
when
you there, to be
Chavi
honest.
has
regardless if we go down or
his
stay up. I
pass
don't
has
think they
been
approach
too
him.
short or it's been
Wait,
overhit.
can we do one at a
and
time, guys?
that
Because this is getting really frustrating listening to like multiple conversations all at once.
Daniki, can you please
Sorry.
start and be quiet?
Dietrich, get out. You're fucking shit, mate.
Can I just say, this is why I only have 6 on the show, and you look like, let me come on, I won't talk much. You come on, you all talk. This is why I only have 6 on the show, just so you lot know. This is why I do
Okay,
it.
throw
All right.
Dietrich's out.
Well, let's have a cushion.
Yeah,
apart
everyone
from-
vote for Dietrich's out.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah, I just got in.
of course, it's
just
always
got
the
in.
Arab getting kicked out. Wow, thank you for the racism.
It should always be the
Stel's
most
not
recent
throwing
person
out the
that
Greeks,
joins
hopefully.
gets to speak the
We'll
most.
throw out a question, Stel, and we'll go around the room.
Yeah, do it properly.
Yeah, do your host job.
Listen,
Yeah, come on,
I don't-
host, mate.
Yeah, earn your
You know what?
crust.
No, he's right. He's right. Bye. So, I did my job.
Oof.
So,
Brutal.
yeah,
I
don't-
thought I
don't
disappeared
forget
then.
that. Don't forget that, Dietrich.
I think the ones without face cam should go.
So Mark, listen, Mark, let's wrap. We're going to wrap it up in 10 minutes because we're almost going for 3 hours. Let's end it on this. Does anyone think it matters right now who we bring in to save the season, or in your opinion, it doesn't matter what manager comes now? Realistic manager, not the ones that keep rejecting us, the ones that we can realistically get. Does anyone think a realistic manager that comes in saves the season, or do you think it's done? Let's go around. Right, Dan, you go first. Danny.
I think we're at that stage where it doesn't really matter what manager we get in there because it's down to the players. Simple as that. So I honestly don't think it matters whether we keep Tudor or not. Do I think we should get rid of him? Yes, I do. I think we should try. But is it going to be the main effect at the end? No. It's going to be down to the players whether we stay up or not in that aspect. So honestly, I don't think the manager really matters.
Ellie?
I personally think the manager does matter, right? Because the manager sets up a team, the manager motivates, the manager gets his team in the right positions, and all of that. I don't know if Igor's a good motivator, but everything I've read about him, it seems to me that he's quite a strict. So he's like very, very strict and harsh. All right, so. I believe a manager can make a difference if we're set up with the players playing in their right positions, for starters. I know there's only 3 or 4 that have been playing out of position, but I think they can make a difference. But ultimately, I do agree with Dan as well. The players have to be listening to that manager and actually performing on the pitch where it matters. Because whatever the manager does to set them up, they still got to go and do their own individual jobs and work as a team. Because we're not working as a team. We clearly aren't. So he's got to gel them very quickly in 7 games. Really, he's only the first game he's got is against Sunderland away, and they're like maniacs up there. They're really, really hot on their football, and they love their football. So he's got a task and a half to come in and pull these players together and make them play as a team. Yeah, because we've seen that they can perform
Right, Ellie,
better
let me
than
ask
what
you a
they're
question.
doing.
Ellie, quick question, because we're going around, right? You're saying yes, the manager can help us with the 7 to go. So my question is this: name your manager then, and then I'll move it on to Alex.
If we can get De Zerbi, I think he'll be a good choice. It'll be a very good choice because he likes to play front foot football. He's a very good motivator. I know that. He's very passionate about his football, right? And I think he'll be really good with the players and get them set up properly. Because at Marseille, he's done a fantastic job. It's just a few of his players were a bit mouthy, and you know what De Zerbi's like.
So what's it going to be like at Spurs then?
The thing is, our players are not mouthy apart from Romero, probably.
All right. So Dan's saying no, it's too late. Doesn't matter what manager you bring in. Ellie says no, it does matter who the manager is, and she's saying go for De Zerbi. Box office. Does it matter if we bring in a manager, and if so, who? If not, then there's no manager to tell us.
I'll go back to my last answer earlier on the show. No, because I think it's way too late. I still think we need to change the manager to Ryan Mason, but I think it's way too late right now.
What?
Because I
Mason?
don't think we're going
Did you
You
say
were doing
Brian
so well,
Mason?
Alex. You were doing so well until the end.
Yeah,
Well, no, it's
Ryan
someone that knows the club. Someone that knows the
Fucking
club.
Alex, you've lost all
Oh my
respect
God.
for me now.
Well, if you listen to what I'm saying, if you listen to the context I've just said, basically I've said we're gonna get relegated anyway because I think it's too late. But I just think we need somebody in the club and knows the Premier League.
It's not too late. There's 7 games left.
And I think for me,
I'm gonna come to you next, Danny.
I think Ryan Mason knows the club. He's been a recent manager. I think you bring in Spurs people, and then we see what happens. But for me, I think it's way too late at the moment. 7 games. I think we're not going to get any wins out of those. I think that's it for me. So yeah, relegation into the Championship next season.
Isn't it Stelegation?
Stelegation. So Alex is saying that it doesn't matter anyway what we do next. Danny?
It does matter. I think this is still 7 games of the season left. That's just under a quarter of the season still left. It's still a lot of games, right? Technically, that's 2 months worth of games nearly. So that's a lot. And a lot can happen in football, and football can change in an instant, which people seem to keep forgetting. I think the reason the fans have got no hope and feel completely hopeless is because of how dire the season has been, because of how everything, the injuries, the manager issues, and everything going on. But Tottenham has always been Tottenham, and they're the type of team that when you least expect it are going to pull out something crazy, and you're like, how the fuck have they done that? How the fuck have they got a point here? Or how the fuck have they won that game? Something like that is going to happen, right? I believe we will stay up. I believe we'll get between 4 and 6 points. And I believe we will stay up because I think West Ham will do worse, right? Now, in terms of the manager situation, it is important, which is why I believe they have to get rid of Tudor. And they have to get someone in who I think, I know Dan's had this argument before. I think someone who does know the club, right? Not Tim Sherwood, because he's a piece of crap, that guy. Not
Ryan Mason instead.
Not Ryan Mason, because Ryan Mason is a joke. He's even worse. It has to be someone else. Now, I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's Harry Redknapp, whoever it is, right? Or maybe a few of them all together in a combined kind of setup, right? It has to be someone who cares about this football club, whoever it is, right? And they put a team together to try and get these players doing the basics again. Because the problem that these players they've got far too much pressure on them. I think the parade was over pressurized for them. It put far more pressure on them than they needed. And what they need right now is if you use your logic, what they need is to depressurize the situation. And to do that is to make them understand that you're going out to play a game of football with freedom, not with the pressure of, if you don't do this right, you're going to lose the match. If you don't do this right, you're going to get relegated. Because that is so pressurizing on the situation right now. And what they need is someone to literally say to them, look, it's a game of football. You're better than this. And start doing the basics. They need to do the basics again. Pass and move. That's all they need to focus on. Literally. And then the strikers, you do striker training, finishing training, right? The strikers should not be learning how to defend or learning how to press or learn how to put the ball in the back of the net. So when you get given the chance, you can put it in the net. It's not rocket science. So, I mean, Stel, you're a coach. You've probably done this with your kids as well before. Like, you don't train the goalie to take shots to score goals, do you?
Do you want me to cook you, Danny? Can I just cook you right now?
I'm trying to say...
Kinky.
You're sitting here
Whatever turns you on.
Right? He's sitting here telling me
I'm not trying to
do this and that. No, hold on. You said
hold on.
Training.
I'm not trying to like be disingenuous.
You don't know what I'm going to say. You don't know what I'm going to say.
Go on.
Right? You're sitting there saying, do this coaching training, do this with them, do that with them. When I've spent all year telling you and Sava and everyone else, this team's better than what you think. They're not being coached properly. You're now saying they just need a bit of coaching.
They're not though. They're not. I'm just saying, still, what they need right now is to do the basics. The basics.
Yeah, coaching.
Passing of football. This is something we shouldn't have to be doing. They should know how to pass a football.
Coaching.
Yeah, it's not even that, Stel. It's what they need right. What they need right now is they need to have someone go in there and take the pressure off them.
And then he has a go at me, but I said Ryan Mason. Okay, fair enough, Danny. Honestly, deluded.
Ryan Mason is the worst thing.
Deluded. No, it's just I just love it. I love it.
Ryan Mason.
I hope you learned the lesson. Don't ever listen to men buns.
I've said all season long, this team is better than what we're seeing. It's not a top 6 side. It's not a top. Then don't. So if they're not, don't tell us we just need to do passing drills.
Still, it's not that. They need to
You can't have it both ways, mate. You
still,
can't.
No, I get what you're saying, right? But they need someone in there to go in there. Okay, yeah, all right. I'll use the term. They need someone right now to coach them how to pass a football, which they should be doing since the age of 5 years old. This is how bad it's got.
But at the start of the season, when I said the amount of passing drills we're doing is drastically down compared to
we shouldn't need to be doing that still.
Danny,
this is professional elite sport.
No. You always practice it. It's called repetition of the practice. When you're good at something, you've got to keep doing it so you don't go rusty. We're so rusty at it because we stopped doing it. And when I said all this shit, you lot told me no, it's because the players are shit. Now you're saying they've just got to do passing drills.
Stel's right.
No, yeah.
Stel's right. If you satisfy one night, you got to satisfy every other night, or she will leave you. So you got to stay at what you're good at, Dan. Come on, man. Seriously. Maybe not everyone's had it as easy as you.
I watched the coach. I watched the coaching drills under. I watched the coaching drills under Igor Tudor. I watched them, and I was quite impressed. What Igor Tudor was doing, but then when it goes on the pitch, it goes to shit.
Ellie, do you know why? Ellie, do you know why, Ellie? Ellie, do you know why? I agree with Ellie. His coaching drills aren't too bad.
They were quite good.
I think his decision making in subs and players has been bad. Yeah.
That's the problem with him.
Yeah,
exactly that.
It is.
It makes
Horror at
mistakes
centre back,
after
Gallagher at right wing.
Yeah,
Simmons on the
Why
bench.
is he doing that?
Because he doesn't know the players that well.
Do you remember that game? Do you remember that game where he put the right back at centre back, the
Yes.
back up to the right back at left back, and the left back at right back?
Yes, he did.
What are you doing?
I think he's doing things that he could be doing in pre-season, but we ain't got pre-season to do
the thing. The thing I was saying, Stel, right? You're right about what you said about the coaching, right? My issue is that with the managers we've had, they shouldn't have to be predominantly focusing on passing.
No, yes, they should, Dan.
Hold on, Dietrich. Hold on. Let me just finish.
No, they should, bro.
Let me just finish, right? Because these players have been passing since they were 5 years old, most of them, right? They've been passing since they were kids. They've been passing through the academies. They've been passing through their professional teenage years, and they've been passing into men's football, right? They should know how to pass a football. Right now, they don't, right? Hold on, Dietrich. Right now, they don't. So what I'm saying is they need someone to go in there and just focus on the basics, not focus on the tactics. That's what I'm saying.
Danny, can I just prove you wrong? Look at Harry Kane. All his life, he's been almost a striker all his life. Every time after training, he practices penalties and shooting. It doesn't matter how good you are, you gotta practice. Even though they're professional footballers, and passing is the basics. Brother, if you stop doing passing drills, you will struggle and you will lose all your ability. It's something you lose. Unfortunately, that's how sports are.
When you look at Ange Postecoglou's team,
unless you're Glenn Hoddle, of course.
When you look at Ange's team and Frank's team, there's two things that stood out for me. The pass completion rate, the accuracy of the passing, and the forward passing was down 15%, which is big. Yeah. It was down 15%. I thought, right, is it because of the way we play? Is it the way we play? Then I looked at the individual players. They were all down. So when the team stats are down, you've got a team coaching problem, strategy, tactics. But when all the individual players are down, you've got a coaching problem. And this is why I always said, guys, they're not being coached anymore to do this shit. Everyone's stats, there's not one player at Tottenham whose passing stats have improved. They've all declined. Why? Because Ange had a passing team, and that's how he coached it. But the defensive stats of the individuals improved under Frank. We actually improved defensive stats. And you could see, because Ange never coached defending. He didn't fucking coach
it.
Just to add on to your point.
He never coached it. Ange just said, keep the ball. That is defending. Just keep the ball. That is defending.
You're right, because like even the most elite of the elite sportsmen and sportswomen, whether that's football, whatever sport that is, they are at the very, very top because they practice more than the others.
Yeah.
So that's you're right. You're right.
Bro, practice even the stupidest things, which is passing. You gotta practice the little things.
But I remember watching when Ronnie O'Sullivan, if anyone knows snooker, he trains when the World Championship's on. He trains at my local snooker club in Finchley, in Whetstone, sorry. And I watched him a couple of times in there, and you just watch him. He's just has a snooker table to himself, and he's just like unbelievable. Like he's just there for hours and hours practicing breaks.
When a goalkeeper stops practicing saves, what do you think happens to him?
He becomes Vicario.
Vicario needs to practice at least 2 hours a day catching.
Yeah,
at least 2 hours a day catching,
and also passing, because his passing is rubbish.
Yeah, they don't. I bet you they don't train that. Yeah,
his distribution is fucking appalling.
Pants, isn't it?
But no,
anyway,
you're right.
Danny,
that's what
Danny,
I think,
do you know what? Dan gave me a 1 minute answer. Ellie gave me a 2 minute answer. Alex gave me 30 seconds. You've had a fucking 20 minutes answer.
Oh,
that's the answer.
That's typical Greg. Do you know what? I wanted to say something else
Ellie,
as well.
I beg you, let him give me the answer before you speak.
No, I just wanted to say something about Udogie, yeah? You know, when Frank was our manager, right? Frank was trying to help Udogie become a better left wing back. And I saw him. They had him particularly training at crossing, right? And in training, his crossing was brilliant because he had no pressure. He had no pressure. They never put players on him. They just let him run down. Put a couple of players on him, and he's rubbish. He can't put a big pressure across.
Right, we're gonna come back to Udogie just for Ellie, right? We will. What manager do you want then? Because you're saying the manager can fix it for 7 games. So who's your manager then?
I would have a team of Harry Redknapp. I would just say whoever else he wants to bring in, like whether that's Tim Sherwood, Defoe, Glenn Hoddle, whoever it is, just bring ex-Tottenham people back in, have a team of them, and that's what I think they need right now. Different ages, different group, different experiences, different backgrounds. I think they need a team of them, to be honest, 3 or 4 of them.
Okay, so you would go for a kind of combination of Redknapp and a coaching team. Adam, what about you? Can a manager save this, or is it too far gone? And if you think a manager can save it, which manager? And please try and answer in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's not too far gone. Without a doubt, it's not too far gone. I think with the situation with Tudor, him losing his father, I mean, like that's awful. I feel he's got to be relieved of his duties. We don't know his mindset at the moment. We don't know what's going on, so that needs to be nipped in the bud quick as possible. We're on an international break. Like let's sort this shit out. I'm sort of going to go a little bit with what Danny's saying there, or a bit of what everyone's saying really. I feel that when you've got, if we need a group of people to come in. They need to know the club. I think that's the most important thing at the moment. When you've got someone, whether it be someone like a Harry Redknapp come in or a Gus Poyet come in, someone that has to make the overall decision, but on the training ground, you need, because if it's right of what I'm hearing, is that Tudor's come in and he hasn't really had the staff around him anyway, right? So, like let's be honest. The biggest thing we've been lacking is shots, like shots on goal. You need a Defoe on that training ground, because I'm telling you now, Defoe was someone that, you know, it was like out a bit like Kane, out your foot, fucking hit that fucking target, right? It's about we need to be hitting that fucking target rather than worrying about if the goal's going in. We need to be taking the shots. So if you've got someone like him on the training ground, that is absolutely brilliant. Ryan Mason, when he was at the club, I don't care what people say about him as a manager, as a coach, he was really liked because his methods and things like that was why he was given the opportunity.
He was liked because he was a yes man, though, Adam. Let's be honest.
No, it's a fact that when he was around the club, that the training methods of what he was doing and linking up play and that, people like that, and I think that's a bit of stability, and he knows the club. I'm not saying to give him the manager's job. Hell no, right? But if a Harry Redknapp came in with a team like what you were saying, Danny, right? With a team of people that can attribute in areas. So you've got someone like a Mason that knows that midfield, that sort of like area. You've got a Defoe that comes in and he can get around them strikers and be like, you need to be taking snapshots. We need to be taking shots. We need to be no second of thought. Fucking get that ball out your foot, bang, right? And we need it, but we need, obviously,
Adam,
by
your two
bringing
minutes
in,
are up. Your 2 minutes are up.
he got fucking 20, right?
I know, but he broke the rules. He's not coming back on the show again.
No, but well, don't cut me too short. But we just
That was your
just
fault.
need.
You interrupted me.
But I have
Give
to
the
go to
man
bed.
another minute.
No, but
It's
that's
coming up
pretty
to
much
2
what I've got
a.m.
to say.
here in
That's my
Cyprus,
point.
right?
That's my
1 minute.
point.
It's
That's
coming
it.
up to 2
I ain't got to
a.m.
say
here.
much more.
I
don't
know,
know
but it's coming up
who.
to 2 a.m. here, and I need to go to bed. I've got to be up.
Yeah,
at
it's
8.
gone forward an hour.
You
Really,
don't
it goes
sleep,
forward an
Stel.
hour in 15 minutes.
I've got to be up at
But
8
I don't
tomorrow.
know who. But
Oh, yeah,
I just
shit.
think that there needs to be a
It's time to
collaborative
go back,
of
actually.
people that are all club based,
And not.
like have all been here and they know the shit. Like, we missed the boat with Carrick. We missed the boat with him.
All right, so
Okay.
he's kind of on the lines with Danny. Let me go to Alex because I know he had to shoot off to work.
Yeah.
Alex, go on. Can a manager come in and save it, or is it nah? Forget it. There's no manager can save this. Or if there is a manager, who is the manager for you?
I don't think there is a manager that can save this. I think it is too late now, and that is on the club. That's their fault. I do believe that. I don't want to say it, but I think it is going to be us. I can't see how it's going to be any other team that goes down. I think it is going to be us. It's too late. The club have shot themselves in the foot. The minute they sacked Frank, that's when they should have got the Tottenham man in, the Harry Redknapp or Sherwood and Defoe as a coach. That's when they should have done it. Now I think it's too late. 7 games is very, very little. Frank should have gone a very long time ago. You know, the club messed up there. They had many opportunities to sack him. You know, losing 1-0 at home to Chelsea, the 4-1 Arsenal, the West Ham. You know, they had many opportunities to do it, and they've just left it too late now. The fixtures we have left are very, very difficult. I can't tell you where the next win is coming from. It's really not looking good for us. And if we do, by the skin of our teeth, stay up, it ain't going to be because we've done it ourselves. It's going to be because someone below us, like West Ham, have underperformed and not got the results they needed to, and that'll be the reason why we clinch it. But everyone's playing better than us right now. West Ham, Forest, Leeds, they're all on better form than Spurs right now. Nothing suggests that this club is going to stay up, and it hurts me a lot to say that because we should not be going down, a club of our size and the fan base. But like I said earlier, it's because of ENIC. You know, they put us in this position, and there isn't a manager that will save us. Tudor should never have been brought in the first place. When you're sacking Frank because the club is on the verge of relegation and you're scared and you want the club's name to remain in the Premier League, you do not go and bring in a manager from a foreign league who has never managed in the Premier League before. You bring in a man that knows the Premier League and has managed in the Premier League before to give yourself chances of staying up, like a Dyche, like a Redknapp, like even a Sam Allardyce. I know it sounds stupid, but you just want to keep the club up. And then in the summer, you go again and reassess your options and maybe try and get that big signing like De Zerbi, who I really like, and I was a big fan of him at Brighton. But yeah, to answer your question, I think it's too late, and I don't think anyone they bring in now will save us. And I do think that it is relevant that Tudor is relieved of his duties, especially with the sad passing of his father as well. You know, his head ain't going to be in it. You know, he's grieving and he's got a massive job on his hands already to try and keep this club up. But then he's got that on top of it. You know, it's not gonna go well for him, and it's not fair on him either. So I think they will do it. But the reason why they've not done it yet, because obviously it's too soon, and you've got to respect him and his family. I think they want to give it at least a week. I think maybe we might hear something midweek next week where they make a club statement and say that there's been a mutual agreement that we're parting ways with Tudor, and I think that's what will happen. But yeah, to finalise what I'm saying, it is too late, and there is no one that can save this club, and ENIC deserve all of this, and it's going to be a very tricky ride in the Championship. I don't think we'll come up straight away either.
I agree with what Alex said. In fact, my answer is everything Alex just said. Dietrich, Michael, you literally are only going to get a minute. Okay, I will give you a minute. Dietrich.
So of course, the Sub-Saharan always gets a minute. Well, thank you for being fair. I'll just make it fair and say
your name's not Michael Dietrich. So I don't understand why you got upset.
Do I look fucking Sub-Saharan to you?
Does he look like he rides camels? No. Right, get on with it.
Each their own.
What are we doing here?
We've got camels in Cyprus.
Yeah.
Have we?
Yeah, in the zoo. I've
No,
seen
we
them. Only donkeys.
Manager.
Back on topic now. Blood.
Is it too late?
Got a lot of donkeys at Spurs.
Nothing is too late, do I think it's gonna make a difference? Personally, no. But if we get the Adolf, what's his last name? The Third Reich. I'll call him the Third Reich. I'll be so happy.
We can't be having an Adolf running this club, mate. I tell you that.
No, it'll be so fucking hilarious. If he relegates us, it's gonna be one of the funniest things ever, and the memes after. It'll be fucking hilarious. And to be fair with you guys, I don't think whatever happens matters. I think we need a reset, not only at club level, but even the fan base. So to be honest with you, I'm pro relegation. I don't like it, but that's what the club needs.
There you go. And finally, we saved the best to last surprise package at the end. Michael.
Of course, it's the white guy. That's the best. Of course.
You know what? I've noticed with you, Dietrich, you've got a chip on your shoulder, man. Like, there's something.
Do you have anything against white guys? Anything against white guys? That's also racist, mate.
Yeah, it's true. That was racist, isn't it? He was racist. That was racist.
Yeah. Actually, to say that
that's not just
as long as he doesn't say white men can't jump.
Did you just assume my background?
Don't say anything about gingers either.
Do we have to go there? Do we have to go there?
You got a nice ginger pussy there, Adam.
Oh, fucking hell.
Why are we doing this at the end of the show? Why now?
Why are we doing
this now?
Why are we doing this?
Michael, go for it.
Yeah.
Go on, have your say, bro.
Fuck this club, Stelegation in.
Yes!
I said it a week ago. Mate. And after Forest, fuck this club. I don't care. I'm not watching any more games. This club can go fuck itself.
Remember,
like Dietrich's can too.
Mikel, remember what we said on Hotspur Hood? You said the same thing there. You said,
yeah, I did. I'm consistent.
You agree with me. You agree with me, didn't you? So you were kind of halfway there anyway, weren't you? Sorry, you have the time to shine.
Alex, I'm consistent with it. Like
exactly.
Honestly, two fucking years of grief and 1 week of happiness that I had in May. F this, right? I think it's beyond saving at this point. These players don't care. The ownership doesn't care. Why the fuck should I care? Like, you know,
you support the club, bro.
But the sad part is, right? They will all fuck off, and we will be here suffering in the championship.
They're not going to fuck off.
No, majority of them will. I'm not talking about the ownership. I'm talking about players now, right? They will all fuck off. Romero, Van de Ven, Poro, Udogi, Vicario, all of them will be gone, right? And we will stay here and suffer. So if they don't care, then I don't care either, right? Because it's not me playing on the field. It's up to them, right? If they start caring and if they start winning, then I will care and I will want this club to not get relegated, right? But at this point, I'm watching the games. I'm watching us get fisted by Nottingham Forest, right? We got fucking our pants pulled down. We were forcefully bent over, and we were,
But wait, Michael, you're getting Danny K excited. Be careful.
Listen, I know it's haram. I know it's haram to talk about that stuff, right? But
I don't want my cat to hear this.
that's a wicked cat, by the way.
It is a very cute cat.
Yeah, that's a very cute.
All right, on that fitting end to what was a tragic ending to the show. Listen, big up to everyone in the chat. Listen, you've stayed with us to the end consistently. Like, honestly, wow to all of you. Well played. Big up to Dan. Make sure you go to the Hotspur Hood. Help Dan with his channel. Ellie on her TikTok and Twitter pages. Mr. Box Office, the Truth of Entertainment's channel. Who else got a channel here? Follow Alex on Twitter. I know he's quite active on Twitter.
We got
and
Alex
Danny as well.
For me?
Make sure
Oh no, I'm not on Twitter.
No, I'm not on Twitter anymore either, mate. I deleted that shit a long time ago. Too toxic,
I
mate.
actually like Twitter. I really do. I think
Mate, you give an opinion on a player, and then people start abusing you and your looks. It's embarrassing, mate. Our fan base are a joke on that platform. You'll never catch me on there for a very long time.
No, the thing
That's
is,
why
what
you go
do,
and leave
you
messages
give it
like
back
that
to
now on
them.
purpose. No, you go and leave messages like that on purpose. It's called fishing.
That's why I left. I couldn't take it. I got too much.
You lot are too weak, man.
And then you try
I
and draw me in
banter
there
them.
yesterday still with that
I banter
message.
them like I banter Stefan.
You got to love a bit of
You
banter.
sent me that bloody message, and you're trying to draw me back into that sesh pit.
I don't go on X. I just go to a soccer event and just enjoy myself, and that's it, really. You know what I mean?
No.
I just watch
And
everyone's
enjoy life and
channels
just
on the
enjoy
YouTube.
life. That's what
Alex
I'm doing.
Spurs,
That's
Triple
what
X.
I'll just go and watch Danny K on the.
Don't say that.
I usually go pay for the session with Danny K at the Blue Lights District.
No, don't say that. I knew exactly when
I
you
used to
said
do
that.
YouTube, but not anymore. I used to do vlogs
Blue
with
light
them, but I stopped that.
Yes,
long time.
sir.
Guys, thanks for watching the show. Peace and love to all of you. Look after yourselves. Have a great weekend. We'll be back next
Yes,
week.
sir.
All right.
Yes,
Bye.
love
Watch the
everyone.
Hotspur Hood.
Take
Happy
care,
wife,
everyone.
happy life.